right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's, what's that?
Friday!
Thank you. Very good. All right, very nice. October 11th.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Yes, over there.
I'm getting better and better.
It was very good. I'm with Al, Brandon, and Lindsay, the mezzo-soprano. I'm Tori. Let's get right to it. Rudy.
No, it's Rudy.
I was going to say Rudy.
Yes.
No, guess what? It's not, because it's he's at it again. It's all because of these two Ukrainian men who you see here with Rudy. Looks like they've enjoyed a few tasty beverages together, right? Well, these two men were arrested yesterday for violating campaign finance laws.
And for being hotties.
To the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They look like the practice nickels before they decided on a president.
It's not a great photo, I'll be honest. Now, they were supposedly helping Rudy dig up dirt on Joe Biden's son. Now, the president said he doesn't know the men, but what's this? There is a photograph of the president with one of them. So I want to know first what you think this means for Trump and also what this means for Rudy. Before you go, these men were arrested getting to the airport on a one-way ticket to Vienna after having lunch with Rudy Giuliani that day. He also apparently has a ticket to one-way, and they were arrested by plainclothes officers they were getting a runaway. So it's crazy.
So these men obviously look like something's up, right? They were running out of town, and you can't deny that. But I think you can say to hold off on putting this with Trump, right? These campaign finance violations, it's not like Trump used the funds. These are currently in an account that's going to sit there until this whole thing is resolved. And as a celebrity, as a president, you take photos. You're going to say that every single person he meets is a good friend. That seems like an extreme argument.
I agree with you on the photograph, but if your personal lawyer who had a one-way ticket to Vienna and the colleagues were arrested, you don't think that makes you nervous as Trump?
That's somebody who plans vacation late. Brandon does it all the time.
That's a good spin.
How did I end up in this?
Yeah, I just think, when the worst time for your lawyer to be going to jail is when your other lawyer is currently in jail.
That's like a knock-knock joke.
Doesn't look good, Lindsay. They're guys from the same country where where the whistleblower is saying we already have corruption. And I just think anytime, and I think it should come up on orbits, whenever you order a one-way flight to another country, that you go straight to the police department. Because no one's ever, I'm going to go to Italy forever. Come on, dog. Come on.
Listen, I just think that we have to look at Ukraine and the whole dealings as something is wrong, right? We've been looking at a lot of the communication and saying something's wrong. So if we're going to say something's wrong with that communication, we also have to look at the communication that was told to us that Biden had nothing wrong, no wrongdoings over there. So I'm just saying it has to be a blanket statement if we don't believe.
Has anybody on the panel ever bought a one-way ticket to a country?
No.
Has anybody in this room ever bought a one-way ticket to?
I did on Skip Lagged.
But you're here, so then it wasn't a one-way ticket. Your argument fell apart. Come on, Lindsay.
At the time, you don't know what he was planning to do.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, speaking of the president, Lindsay, and everyone else, he totally went off on Joe Biden last night. You've got to see what he said at his rally in Minneapolis. We've got the clip right here.
So now the Democrats are making a pathetic bid to save Sleepy Joe Biden. He was only a good vice president because he understood how to kiss Barack Obama's ass.
Classy. And outside, just look at these clashes between Trump supporters and pro-impeachment demonstrators. Police had to actually use pepper spray to break up the fighting. I thought it was quite the beginning of Trump's campaign. That's how I kind of felt. It was the beginning, and he went straight all in. What do you think, Al? And then I want to get your opinion, and then yours.
I think he's been campaigning these rallies. I mean, he's already been elected. Well, not by the popular vote, but he's been elected. So he's been having these rallies to rally his base and keep them galvanized. He always has them when things are looking bad for him, like they do now. And so this is part of the course.
What about the language though, like the "Where's Hunter Biden? Where's Hunter Biden?" All this.
Then it was lock him up. It's just
right. What about
he knows
that?
what
But
works.
the language, he said, "Can I go off script?" And then the crowd started chanting in uproar. They like him saying that Biden is kissing whatever, so that's the language that he's using. Just like when he tweeted that the polls suck yesterday, you guys were all laughing and chuckling about it, besides Brandon said don't laugh. But that's what I mean. You can't pick and choose when it's funny. This is what the man campaigned on.
No, I just said don't laugh because Tori, when I see Tori laugh, that's when I know it's normalized. It's officially normalized
and you
to
said
everybody.
that in the moment.
And I said that in the moment.
Totally.
So, but I look at this as we can't. I mean, obviously he's saying these things to fire up his base, but at the same time, these anti-Trump demonstrators, somebody's going to get hurt out here, man.
They already have.
Beto O'Rourke is already calling for a counter rally next week because Trump will be in Dallas. people are going to be out there. People are going to be on the streets fighting. And we're going to do a story pretty soon because, like you said, this campaign season is just starting up. We are going to be doing a story, and I hope we don't, but we're going to be just doing a story about how someone dies out there in those streets.
But why are we trying to stop him from campaigning somewhere? This is a problem. Like in Minneapolis, that same location, Obama campaigned there for health care, and he paid $20,000 to go there. They told Trump security fees would be $530,000. The time and the appreciation of money has not changed that much, but they're trying to stop his voice.
But I don't think it's trying to stop his voice. I think it's trying to ramp up that security because not only for him, but the people that are there. Those people standing behind him with those MAGA hats last night in Minneapolis, people snatched them off. People snatched the hats off their head and burnt them.
There's bad people on both sides, but things are getting heated. We agree. I think the tone of everything needs to come down for both sides.
It's not going to, though.
Well, I wish it would, and I can still challenge it to do so. Well, CNN hosted a town hall focusing on LGBTQ issues last night, and a lot happened. Some are even saying it went off the rails. First, watch what happened when Elizabeth Warren talked about gay marriage.
I am old-fashioned, and my faith teaches me that marriage is between one man and one woman. What is your response?
Well, I'm going to assume it's a guy who said that. And I'm going to say, then just marry one woman. I'm cool with that. Assuming you can find one.
Burr, 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 burr. That was a Korea moment for her. Yeah, and I think that there's a line between respecting religious views and also understanding LGBTQ rights. And I think that's where everyone's moving forward. In 2004, barely any Republicans supported LGBTQ rights, but now more than 44% of the party does. And so I think that there's going to be a movement of everyone forward to start to embrace people as they are.
I hope so.
I think it was a bigger deal, and I don't know if anybody else saw this on the panel. It was her because with the one man, one woman, we know who that represents. Yeah. And with her making that joke saying, assuming he can find one, most people would be like, well, you're going to cut those voters off. And I think she was the first candidate that realized they ain't coming. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Those evangelicals, the single issue voters, the gun people are not coming. So stop trying to have this like middle of the road language for them because, and I respect that. They're like, look, I'm voting this way and I'm not changing. Yeah, so her taking that shot of the whole man, woman, and I'm on the fence about gay marriage. Good. Stay yourself on the other side of that fence.
I agree.
And stop. I would say stop trying to be partisan because it doesn't work. Just like Trump curses and fires up his base, lock him up, shoot them. That's what they want to hear. She needs to start talking to her base about what they want to hear, and it's not partisan conversation
Staying
anymore.
Neutral doesn't work. As you saw, Cory Booker kind of sat there and said, she's still trying to figure this out. 2 Democratic candidates sat out from participating in the debate last night. So, you know, it's interesting to just be in the middle ground. I think nobody wants to hear that.
I agree.
You're exactly right.
All right, take another look at this moment from last night when a black trans woman, she grabbed the mic and Don Lemon stepped in. It got very, very heated. Take a look.
Black trans women are being killed in this country, and CNN, you have erased black trans women for the last time.
May I have the mic? Blossom, let me tell you something. The reason that we're here is to validate people like you. That is why we're giving, but that is why we're here.
Not one black trans woman has taken the mic tonight. Not one black trans man has taken the mic tonight. Yeah. Show me.
Do you think Don handled that well?
Yeah, he did, like a true professional. Because had he kind of got into a riff with her, it would have just combated into something that, you know, it would have looked terrible on TV on both CNN's and Don Lemon's end. But here's the thing, because as you just said, like a lot of Democratic candidates back in the day wouldn't be advocating for LGBTQ rights.
Like Obama.
And we're learning so much. Like having a sister that's a lesbian, that was a shock. That was new to me. And I've been so open and transparent about how, how I'm learning so much. But learning about transgender people last night, I mean, we needed that moment because I think it was a moment where a 9-year-old transgender American asked Elizabeth Warren what she was going to do her first week in office that was going to protect kids in schools to where all they have to think about is their homework. And Al, I never thought about that. Like, I'm still wrapping my head around, how lesbian and gay people are treated. Now it's like transgender people. This is a lot. It's a lot. And America needs this right now because we need to show empathy to everybody.
That's right. Well, listen, more surprisingly, last night, Joe Biden came out. Well, sort of. Watch.
For example, when I came out when I publicly stated, well,
that would be news if you.
I got something to tell you.
I kind of figured it out a while ago.
I thought Anderson handled that particularly well, too. But it was just an interesting night, and I thought it was great to at least have a full forum on that.
Yeah, and I always say you're not comfortable with a topic until you can joke about it.
Yeah.
And that's where that's where I'm starting to see this go, where people aren't so worried about their language because when, like you said, Brandon, we're all just learning. I have a trans nephew, you have a gay sister, and we are learning. We are the first people to not only acknowledge, because I don't feel like we deserve a medal for that, but to just be like open, like, yeah, that's my sister. Is there a problem with that?
Yeah.
You know, but we also need to learn, you know, terms and how would you like to be referred to. We're all learning.
Right.
So I think we're on the right path.
Knowledge is power.
I don't know if that's your saying.
It is. What do I always say? Coming up, it's mine. We'll show you how an extra pep in her step helped a mail carrier drop more than 100 pounds in today's inspiring Heart Threads. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. A shocking new PSA compares youth concussions to smoking. But will it actually do any good? Your comments coming up next.
It's time. Hi, guys. Happy Friday. Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news, but right now we're going to go chat with our host. Let's go. Hi, guys. What's happening up here?
What's up?
Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Lindsay and Brandon.
Oh, hi.
Sorry.
How's it going? We didn't know Troy made up that famous saying.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, knowledge is power. You know she coined that one.
She does use it quite a lot, don't she?
Okay, so what are you saying, Brandon?
I've never heard her use that. I was gonna make fun of Lindsay, but you kind of like went to.
Feel free. Please have at it. I enjoy being made fun of on a Friday,
So
especially.
when she does the Friday, she practices at the desk.
I do
she's
not.
just there.
I just go with how I feel. You know, sometimes it's natural. Brandon isn't mad that the skill that it takes to do such a thing, he doesn't
I
have.
think he's upset that you came in and just all of a sudden got to do the Friday, and he's probably just jealous. He's just jealous.
Holding it inside, like, I get a chance to do Friday.
What if they asked you to do it? Would you be happy?
No, I don't want to do it. I'm not
I'm
a singer. I'm not the artist. I'm the mogul.
He's the kid that gets.
I run the label.
He's the kid that gets.
He runs the label.
He's the kid that pushes kids off the jungle gym when we were younger. That's Brandon.
No, I'm the kid that beat up the kid for pushing the kid off.
I bet.
That was me as a kid. I used to always get in trouble for sticking up for other people.
I used to get in trouble for drop kicking people like you.
See, bully, bully in blue, bully in blue. And can we take
Is this sunflower blue or is it periwinkle? I think it's sunflower.
Or there's a color periwinkle?
Yeah.
Maybe periwinkle.
I looked it up and Stone calls it sunflower blue.
I like periwinkle though. It just sounds like I click my heels together, something can happen.
Can we do a DBL poll on if people like black nail polish or not?
Brandon hates black nail polish. He said it makes him feel uncomfortable for some odd reason.
Okay, Brandon, I might agree with you because I got this dark purple nail polish and I feel like it looks black. I feel like it looks black and then I'm like, oh my God, I can't report news on air with this black nail polish.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I mean, you can, but
Can I do another poll? Let's do a poll on if anybody didn't ask somebody what they like their nail color or not, do you care about their response?
Right. Bye.
Glad to see Al's back. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. A new PSA is tackling the dangers of kids and football. But before we show, we actually want to warn you that it's actually quite alarming. We don't usually want to show smoking on DBL, especially with children. But that's the entire point of this shocking PSA. Take a look.
How's everybody doing? We all right? Great job. You guys are doing it.
Tackle football is like smoking. The younger I start, the longer I'm exposed to danger. You wouldn't let me smoke. When should I start tackle? Choose flag under 14.
So, wow, the studio is silent. DBL Nation, does this change your views on allowing children to play tackle football? Again, what they're asking for is you don't do tackle until you're 14 years old. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so Susan from Twitter says, I have been spouting off for years about how barbaric football is and have continuously refused to watch it. I just can't see how parents can continue to encourage their children to play when the evidence of danger is right in front of them.
Whoa.
And, you know, California, Illinois, and New York feel this way also. They are having conversations about putting laws in place to ban it until a child is 12 years old. And I want to point out that one of the referee in the video is Chris Borland, who formerly was on the 49ers, and he had 2 concussions and quit the NFL after 1 year. So I just think that we need to pay attention to this and just listen to this perspective.
He had those concussions when he was a kid or when he got into the NFL?
When he was in the NFL.
Okay, not as a kid though.
No.
All right. Because it's such a barbaric sport as a kid.
That
And
was
Corey,
a viewer comment.
And the government trying to step in and saying if your kid can play tackle football or not, I'm not okay with that. Junior from YouTube says, and I think he agrees with me, says to deprive your child of something they love or dream of doing is even worse than the potential threat of injury. These kids look up to these NFL players. They want to be these NFL players. And the NFL is doing a great job of not only, I know we hate all these flags that's being thrown, Al, especially on the Browns. But we hate, but they're cleaning the game up, teaching guys how to keep their head up when they tackle. And they're doing that for youth football as well. So you can say, oh, my kid's not going to play until they're 14, but you're going to put your kid in Taekwondo, martial arts, to get kicked in the head there, and they can have a concussion. So I don't think the government should get involved when it comes to this. I'm okay with splitting it up and being like, hey, you can play flag football till 14 and you come in. But when you come in as 14-year-old and these kids have already been tackling and they're not scared to hit,
all the kids.
You're going to come in and you're going to be a little timid, and then you're going to hesitate. And when you hesitate, that's when the injury happens.
Well, it's good to hear from an ex-NFL player. That's really important to hear. Thanks.
How do you know I didn't play in the NFL?
Because you didn't.
Oh. Jen from Facebook says, sorry to say my kids will never be allowed to play football. Too risky. Jen, I think anything where you're getting hit in the head is going to be risky. There's a ton of concussions in soccer. There's a lot of concussions with snowboarding. I've seen a couple of documentaries on that. Obviously, boxing, we've all seen the results of that. Anything where people are getting hit in their head and their brain, which sits in fluid, then sloshes to one side or the other and bangs against, is going to be a problem.
So you're okay with this?
And Brandon, I don't think that the NFL, the government is trying to tell you that your kids can't play football. They're just saying no different than the government tells you to buckle up, save a life, tells them to not smoke, get your kids vaccinated. It's really just a suggestion. We've done research. We've found that this is the best way to keep your kids safe, and it's really because they just don't want to take care of them long term. I mean, this is a money thing for the government. They want their citizens healthy and paying taxes. So I don't think they're trying to tell you what to do. I think they're just saying we have some research on this, and the research isn't great.
I know we have to move on, but I just hate the fact that we're putting it on the sport. We're putting all this money into the sport. Everybody's making money off of these athletes, but no one wants to make a helmet that's going to do a better job of preventing these sort of things.
Should get involved in
that's what I'm saying. Like, if we can send astronauts to the moon and they can go at G-force 500 or whatever, then you can't.
G-force 500 sounds good, but I don't know.
Okay.
No, I agree with you on that.
You're sticking up for Al because I made a Browns comment.
No, I'm not. All right, this is actually quite sad. A deadly wildfire is ripping through homes in Los Angeles. Raquel, tell us what is going on.
Tori, a man died of a heart attack trying to protect his home from this fast-moving wildfire. It's called the Saddle Ranch Fire, and it has grown to more than 4,700 acres. More than 100,000 people have been forced to flee their homes, and the flames ripped through more than a dozen homes, as you see here in Southern California, with no containment in sight. Now, I'll keep you updated on this developing story.
Thanks, Raquel. I always want to give a shout out to our firefighters, and Denver Fire watches this show. They love us, we love them, and just prayers for everybody involved. Very, very scary. All right, coming up on DBL, an update on a teen hero who helped stop a school shooting. We'll tell you about his inspiring new accomplishment. And next, a postal worker's dramatic weight loss, how simply showing up to work led to these incredible results. Next in Heart Threads. Just make it.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray Banks, makeup extraordinaire for Daily Blast Live, and today we're talking about some of my favorite red light beauty tips. Now, these are my favorite tips to get you through a quick fix without having to ruin your whole makeup sleigh. Yes, honey, I'm here to help you save the day. So, did I just do a whole haiku? Go ahead, sis. Now, to get back to our point, we are talking red light beauty tips such as how to put on your makeup. Now, I'm not going to tell you the actual technique, but I'm going to tell you which step you should be putting in your makeup. Now, I want you to think, what do you usually do, or most people do? We put on our base first and add the blush and the bronzer and warm everything up. It's a good time, right? But then when we get to eye makeup, we almost always have this big mess underneath our eye. Think about that last time you did a smoky eye. I know, sis, it was a mess for sure. That whole black cloud underneath, it's never fun. So let's go ahead and think smarter and not harder, all right? Now, instead of doing our makeup first or our foundation first, I want you to start doing your eye makeup first. This is a great way that a lot of professional artists use to go ahead and make sure that we're actually helping to relieve or reduce time that we're using to correct any under eye fallout. It almost always happens, so this is the best way to help you fix those issues. Now, another issue, if you may have gotten a lot of fallout underneath that eye, going back to that whole smoky eye issue, we can actually take a little bit of an eye cream or moisturizer on a Q-tip and utilize that to go ahead and remove any excess makeup products that might be underneath your eye. A lot of pros want to tell you, but I'm nicer than the rest of them, y'all. So with that being said, I want you to go home and try out using that double-sided Q-tip to take out any excess makeup from underneath your eye. And also remember that quick tip, do your eye makeup before your foundation. It'll save you a lot of pains later on in the day. Now, you can thank me later, guys, and you can follow me at Dre for the Slay for more beauty tips. We'll see you guys next week.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Hard Threads is all about a remarkable weight loss. Watch how a mail carrier worked hard to get fit on the job. This mail carrier lost more than 130 pounds running on her mail route and found a healthier lifestyle in the process. Before she began running, Jamila weighed nearly 300 pounds. She and her husband were raising 3 kids. And she decided she needed to set a better example. After 2 years, she lost more than 130 pounds and also found she could get home earlier to enjoy dinner with her family.
I love that energy that lets off and the conversations that are upheld at the dinner table. So I run to do that.
Running is also therapeutic for Jamila, helping to relieve internal pain.
Sometimes the pain that's inside of us hurts more than that heat. Running helps relieve some of that pain.
Even when the going gets tough, Jamila rises to the challenge for her family and to inspire others to find happiness in hardship.
We can just continue to do it every single day, door for door, delivery for delivery, spread that joy. It can become infectious like a fire.
Oh, it's infectious, all right. Lindsay, here's your mail. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Salma Hayek. Welcome to Daily Blast Live.
Got a hit show.
100%. The button to the NSYNC story. So this means so much to us.
I feel like we're old friends.
Salud, salud.
Salud.
Can you stand with me?
Hey, Gwen. Welcome to Daily Blast Live.
Hey, what's wrong here?
I'm mostly worried about you and Sam, Jeff.
We got our ear to the streets here at DBL. How you feeling?
I'm really good, man, really good.
We love when we can bring comfort to people.
It was such an honor to speak with you. It was so nice to meet you. Big fan of yours. Thank you.
I'm black. I don't jump off the ship while it's still floating, Jack.
Did you feel a special sense of responsibility as a woman?
No.
Or did that not even come into it?
Never occurred to me. I like to remind people that news isn't always going to make you happy.
Right.
Anyone who knows me should probably not be president.
Appreciate you, Sarah. So I just want to thank you personally for that.
My pleasure. It was inspiring.
I feel like we're on Oprah.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time to honor our superstar of the week. Whew, well, you may remember Brendan Biley back in May. He joined Kendrick Castillo in disarming the STEM shooter in Colorado, saving the lives of his classmates. Heartbreakingly, Castillo lost his life in the struggle. To honor his friend and to continue to protect others, Brendan has just become a United States Marine. We at DBL want to thank Brendan for his service and his bravery. It gives me goosebumps. And in November, DBL co-host Jeff Schroeder will sit down with Kendrick's dad, John, and he will share intimate details about his son's life and how Kendrick's death has given him a new mission in life. And you don't want to miss it. What an honor to give his friend.
I forget the movie was with Bradley Cooper, but they talk about how there are wolves, there are sheep, and there are sheepdogs. This guy is a sheepdog because he's protecting people like us.
That's
so
awesome.
That's awesome that he's
Much
being
love.
a Marine.
Amazing.
Yep.
We'll see you Monday, same time, same place.
Hi everyone, happy Friday. Kelly Schubert here, the DBL digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news. And right now I do have a trending story for you. It is popping on all the morning shows this morning and it caught my eye. Drivers don't drive while stoned is basically the point of this story. Marijuana breathalyzers are going to be a reality on the roads by 2020. So a company called Hound Labs as well as a company called Sandtech are developing a breathalyzer. So right now if a police officer pulls you over and they suspect you are smoking marijuana or you got in a car accident, you could be taken to the hospital for a blood test. This is very expensive and it's not really an effective way of doing this because you could have smoked the day before and it could still show up on that blood test. So now Hound Labs, they come from Oakland, California, they say their test will be able to detect whether you've smoked in the last 3 hours. So their statistics say that 14.8 million Americans have used marijuana within an hour of starting a car. I mean, I know for me here in Colorado, we live in Denver, it is legal here. I do see people who are driving high. You even see them smoking while they're driving. It's not a good idea, and cops are trying to stop that and try to stop people and get them off the roads. So that is what's going to happen. It's going to be out in 2020, again in 2020. So it will be interesting to see. I mean, I think it'll help. I think it'll stop a lot of people from driving high, especially in places where it's legal, where people just think, oh, it's legal, so I can smoke and do anything. So DBL Nation, let us know what you think of this. Do you think it's against your private rights, if you will? A lot of people are saying that, but I don't. I think it's a great idea. Let me know what you think. Bye.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Rudy Giuliani is at the center of a political storm. The reason 2 men he worked with are now under arrest. Plus, why a Democratic town hall on equality went off the rails last night.
CNN, you have erased black trans women.
Then, a shocking new PSA showing kids smoking. The message they're trying to send, but does it go too far? Plus, a hotel clerk turns the tables on a robber. Was going after his gun the right move? And our interview with actor CRISPIN Glover.
I think good humor has some sense of darkness to it.
Real, honest, entertaining, live.
Daily Blast Live starts right now.
Thank you, CRISPIN Glover. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Friday! October 11th. I'm here with Tori, Al, Brandon. I'm Erica. Sam has the day off. And Jeff is with his wife, Jordan. The two are in LA right now, and they rocked the red carpet last night. Look at them, looking like Hollywood royalty. Dang. They're there for a marriage boot camp premiere Of course, we know they don't need the marriage bouquet. No. They're the example.
Yes,
so you guys
are.
have fun, do your Hollywood thing, and pretend like you don't have kids for like 2 days.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Then you're back.
Well, Rudy.
No.
No? He's at it again.
Yeah.
It's all because these two Ukrainian men who you see here with Rudy, it looks like they've enjoyed a few tasty beverages together. It's always nice to have a few tasty ones right before you get pinched. Yeah. The two men were arrested yesterday for violating campaign finance laws to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. They were supposedly helping Rudy dig up dirt on Joe Biden's son. Now, the president has said he doesn't know the men, but there is this photograph of the president with one of them.
Oh, dear.
So, Tori.
What's going on?
This is so interesting to me because it kind of smells of people who have had no accountability for so long that they don't even know how to operate when they have to be accountable.
Right, they're panicking and they don't know how to panic very well. So if you don't know, they had lunch, these two gentlemen, with Rudy Giuliani yesterday. Directly after that, they went to the airport with 2 one-way tickets, there they are, to Vienna, not Paradise, which would be great, but to Vienna, and plainclothes officers arrested them trying to board the plane. Now, there is an alleged source in D.C. saying Rudy also had a one-way ticket to Vienna. That's the personal lawyer of the president. Now, I agree. Trump takes a lot of pictures with a lot of people. I don't necessarily know if Trump knows those people, and I wouldn't want to put that out there yet. But Rudy is in deep, and he stinks.
I would just want to hear from Trump supporters. Just does this? I know they're forever Trumpers. I know they're not going to move. That's fine. That's been established over the last 3 years.
Them?
But does this seem weird? I mean, before his presidency, there was an issue with Russia. Then there was an issue with what happened in Putin. What foreign country was that? Where he said he believed Putin over our own country,
our own intelligence.
You know, and it's been Russia, Putin, Ukraine, and now 2 men are meeting with his lawyer. That's his lawyer because his other lawyer is in jail. I mean, does this? I just want to ask. I just want to hear from Trump supporters right here. If this isn't weird, then what is?
I'm not a Trump supporter or anything, but we do have duality of thought on this panel, and I think that they're going to spin it in a way to where they're going to make it seem like it's more of a witch hunt.
How are you going to spin jail?
Because just remember the Mueller report when they indicted, 40-something people? Remember the Mueller report came out and it looked like a witch hunt. Nothing came out of that. So I'm waiting, since this is so fresh, I'm waiting to see how they spin this. And then that's when I want to see you really go off and really attack what they're saying.
Well, let's just kind of switch gears and talk about something else. The president. Now, he totally went off on Joe Biden last night, and you've got to see what he said at his rally in Minneapolis. We've got the clip right here.
So now the Democrats are making a pathetic bid to save Sleepy Joe Biden. He was only a good vice president because he understood how to kiss Barack Obama's ass.
And outside, just look at these clashes between Trump supporters and pro-impeachment demonstrators. Police had to use pepper spray to break up the fighting. I understand protest. I think that saying your piece and having the liberty of doing that is one of our most precious rights. But when it starts to turn to violence, is that really the most effective way of getting your point across?
Not only is it not effective, it actually could be unconstitutional. So remember when you can't say fire in a crowded movie theater because you incite panic? There are people, including the ACLU, looking to find out, can I sue Trump for inciting the violence because of the speech and the furor that he has in his rallies? Now, I'm not saying it could, but that is a First Amendment question here. Is he controlling the temperature and stoking the fire so much that it's actually inciting an imminent threat to the protesters? It's an interesting question.
But can you sue the anti-Trump protesters for grabbing people's hats and burning it, that sort of thing? I'm just looking at,
if they do anything wrong, for sure,
because it's so early in the campaign season. We haven't even gotten to 2020 yet, Erica, and I'm afraid that we're going to be up here on this panel, and you're going to read that and be like, someone died last night at a campaign rally because the two sides crashed. And this is where we are, Al, and it's sad and it's pathetic.
We've had those conversations, unfortunately.
That's Heather Heyer right there.
Yeah, I truly hope that people understand that this isn't a short short game thing. This is a very long game, and you're talking about not only yourself, but the generation to come. So I think we need to be thinking about things that are happening past what's happening today.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, there was a town hall last night CNN hosted on LGBTQ issues, and a lot happened. Some are even saying it went off the rails. First, watch what Elizabeth Warren said about gay marriage.
Let's say you're on the campaign trail, and a supporter approaches you and says, Senator, I'm old-fashioned, and my faith teaches me that marriage is between one man and one woman. What is your response?
Well, I'm going to assume it's a guy who said that. And I'm going to say, then just marry one woman. I'm cool with that, assuming you can find one. Burn, 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 burn.
Yeah, that's Elizabeth Warren doing something that I haven't seen a Democrat candidate do, which is like completely understand that the people that, because we know it's behind the man should be with, you know, one woman, one man. We know the ideology behind that. And I think for a long time we've seen Democratic candidates kind of try and be like, hey, well, I'm open to you guys, evangelicals, if you guys want to come to our side. They ain't coming, Erica. They're not coming. So anybody's like, hey, that was insulting. She's like, I don't care, because you're not going to vote for me anyway. And you look at the rhetoric that Trump uses to communicate to his base, whether it's using curse words at his rallies or in his tweets, his base likes that, and he knows what he likes, and he gives them the red meat that they want. And I think it's finally the first time we're seeing a Democratic candidate take a shot at them like, hey, if you don't like it, that's fine. I'll insult you. I'll say that you can't get a girl.
But you know what's interesting, though, is exactly the reason why Trump is effective speaking to his base was why what Elizabeth Warren did last night was effective. We're used to people being on cue cards, teleprompter, someone in your ear. Yeah. She had that answer because that was innately in her, and then it reflected that way. That was a connection made because that was organic. Yeah. But there's more about that town hall. Take a moment or take a look at the other moment from last night when a black trans woman grabs the mic and Don Lemon stepped in. It got heated.
Black trans women are being killed in this country, and CNN, you have erased black trans women for the last time.
May I have the mic? Blossom, let me tell you something. The reason that we're here is to validate people like you. That is why we're giving, but that is why we're here.
Not one black trans woman has taken the mic tonight. Not one black trans man has taken the mic tonight. Yeah. Show me.
Well, here's the deal. At first I thought about this and I thought Don Lemon handled himself beautifully, and as a person who is out in the community was really de-escalated the situation, I thought, quite nicely. Here's my problem. There are an enormous amount of black transgendered women getting murdered in Texas. Let's just call it what it is. And to not have had one of the first couple of speakers be a black transgender seems a bit tone deaf to me.
Well, I think what it's doing, no, I totally understand what you're saying, but it's a reflection of the situation. In every demographic, you have a hierarchy. You have people who are at the top of the hierarchy and people who are at the bottom. The reality for a lot of people, and the way that it's felt, is that in the LGBTQ plus community, white gay men are at the top of the hierarchy and black trans women are at the bottom. So when you have representation, people are like, oh, well, there's representation of your demo. Well, that's not a demo. You're being very specific, and if you're not representing everyone,
I sort of agree with you on this.
Then you are absolutely erasing black trans women. So I understand her passion to be seen and heard, because when you're seen and heard, then you can be acknowledged.
I agree with that.
Well, DBL is live, and coming up, film icon Jane Fonda is arrested. We've got the developing details. Caught on camera, courage when a clerk confronts a would-be robber, why she refused to be a victim. Plus, Tori goes one-on-one with actor Crispin Glover. He tells us all about the newest quirky character in today's Chatting with the Stars. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. A shocking new PSA compares youth concussions to smoking. But will it actually do any good? Your comments are next.
Hi there, DBL Nation. Happy Friday. Kelly Schubert here, the DBL digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news, but let's go to the desk and chat with our hosts. Hey guys, what's happening up here? Happy Friday.
What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, guys?
Remember when they used to be like this? What's up? Remember that?
People got that tattooed. Yeah, they got that tattooed on themselves, several people. And I'm like, oh, that was so a moment,
My favorite
wasn't
commercial
it?
was when they did the wasabi. Remember they were at the sushi spot and he was like, would you like wasabi? He was like, wasabi.
Can I be honest? Do you have a favorite commercial? I have a favorite commercial
On
from
the
like.
spot like that, favorite
There was a Haagen-Dazs commercial that I thought was like
Yeah.
the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and a Nike commercial with Oscar Pistorius. That was really cool. I'm just asking if people remember their favorite commercial.
Before he shot and killed his girlfriend?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's still locked up right now, right? Or did he get out?
I think he got out, and now he's. I think he got out. I think he got convicted, but he had like served his time.
But just, those stories, like Lance Armstrong, like he was such an inspiration to people, and then you find out that he was cheating. Oscar.
But I don't
he
think
was such
Oscar's
an
so clear
inspiration.
cut. You don't know what happened.
He
It was
shot.
crazy.
He shot through the door.
Yeah, but he was also robbed several times. And guns in South Africa is a very common practice of people breaking in. It's a different culture. So he thought without his blades on, he was under attack and vulnerable. This is him saying it. Do I believe that? I don't know. But I do think he
How
has
much time did he get? Did he get more than Amber Geiger?
I covered it too, and I can't remember.
Did he get
I
more
feel
than
like
Amber Geiger?
No, he got like it's almost the same as manslaughter.
yeah, it was like
5 years.
not a lot.
Not a
It
lot
was
at
not a
all,
lot,
yeah.
and no, it was not more than Amber Geiger.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yes, of course.
So we just learned that the
Guys, this is Michael. He's giving them some tips.
The Rudy
Updates.
Giuliani and his relationship with those two men is now a subject of a criminal investigation in New York. So, we don't know what it is.
I would hope so.
I would guess.
SDNY, baby.
Anyways.
If you guys don't know, you'll hear this over and over again, SDNY, and I was like, what does that mean? It just means Southern District, New York, and they're the ones handling all of this Trump stuff. So interesting. What's that?
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. A new PSA is tackling the dangers of kids and football. But before we show it, we want to warn you that it's quite alarming. We usually don't show smoking on DBL, especially kids, but that's the point of this shocking PSA. Take a look.
How's everybody doing? We all right? Great job. You guys are doing it.
Tackle football is like smoking. The younger I start, the longer I'm exposed to danger. You wouldn't let me smoke. When should I start tackle? Choose flag under 14.
Wow, so DBL Nation, does this change your views on allowing children to play tackle football? Tori?
Dan from Facebook says, let's just deprive kids of sportsmanship and the idea of getting back up when you're knocked down. There's a risk factor with any sport, including cheerleading. Dan, you have actually some accurate things in there that I completely agree with. Soccer, lacrosse, taekwondo, all of this. Boxing has a very big case for CTE. The problem is when little kids play Pop Warner and things like that, and it's tackle, their heads get repeatedly hit over and over again, and that repetitive hit over and over again can lead to more problems with CTE. It's not just the big concussions, it's the micro concussions they're worried about. I say let's just wait till they're 14 and play flag football. I have no issue with that, but I do want to hear from you. You're the NFL guy.
All right, Ray from Facebook says, last year I quit coaching youth football. As a head coach, I attended various clinics like heads-up tackling to help prevent injury. However, there will always be those coaches who teach the dirty side of the game, and those coaches, I feel like, Ray, should be tried in a criminal court, because what you're doing is you're teaching a kid how to play dirty to another youth kid. You're putting that youth kid at risk.
Does this happen? Does that really happen?
Not as much anymore, because the camera phone, and you see parents fighting at games all the time, so parents would call that coach out. But this heads-up tackling with that NFL initiative, how you see how when in the NFL we're getting tired of all these flags being thrown for hits, because they're trying to teach guys that this is the new football. You have to have your head up when you make a tackle, and that's trickling down into youth football. Now you can wear a seatbelt and you can drive with your hands at 10 and 2 all you want, but there's still a chance that there may be a car accident. That's the game. So instead of trying to change the game and not allowing these kids to play, let's get better equipment for these kids and let's continue to teach them how to have their heads up when they're tackling.
All right, well said. Jay Michael from Facebook says, yet soccer, which is a much more dangerous sport for concussion and broken bones, is just fine for most parents. Jay Michael, I don't want us to get bogged down in us talking about the different sports. We've seen pro wrestlers have CTE. We've seen pro football players, MMA, boxing. Yep. It's anything where you hit your head. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to argue nuance? Do you want to be right about this? Or do you want to make sure that your kid grows up with the best chance to not be foggy at the age of 35 to 40? Life is long. Last time I checked, you get one of these bodies, and anytime you have permanent damage, you have to walk around with that for the rest of your life. So even if you go pro, is it worth it if you can't remember your kid's name?
I'm sorry, Erica, my only thing, if we start them off at 14, now they have to learn how to tackle. Now the kids are bigger, faster, stronger, and you're trying to learn. You're scared, you're going to have your head down. So
it's a very interesting conversation. We'll continue to talk about it during the digital break on Facebook and YouTube. Coming up on DBL, Jane Fonda thrown in the clink. We've got the details. It's the baby jailbreak of 2019. Watch how a big brother helped his little sister escape from her crib. But first, our own Tori Schulman chats with Crispin Glover to get the 411 on his latest role and the European castle he calls home. Chatting with the Stars is next.
Come over here. You don't have to run away. All right, guys, this is Michael Better. He handles Twitter. What's up, Michael Better?
How you doing?
Where's Rosalind? I wanted to show your twin. She's also wearing red flannel, and they sit next to each other. It's adorable.
Flannel Friday.
Flannel Friday. Guys, we have the Twitter poll, as Michael has put up and wants to know. We've been keeping it open all day, and it's going to continue to be open all day. We're going to do this now to get more of a feel for you, the DBL Nation, and the temperature on the topic of the day.
Exactly.
So it is, what age do you think kids should be allowed to play tackle football? So right now it is under 10, we have 8%. 10 to 11, 4%, 12 to 13, 8%, and 14 plus, it's 79%.
I don't like that. I don't like introducing these kids to tackle football at 14 years old.
Wasn't it better than introducing concussions to them at 10?
But you're not, Tori, I played football my entire life. I come from a football background. My little sister played football her entire life. I didn't get my first concussion until I was, 31 years old, and that was the last 2 years of an 8-year professional
Well, Brandon,
career.
would you not say that that's the
aberration?
Exception rather than the rule?
No, because think of how many people play football. How many kids,
and how many undiagnosed CTE cases are there?
I understand that, but when you get to 14 years old and you got to go up against 15, 16-year-old kids, and you're scared, you don't know how to hit, that's how you're going to get injured. That's how you're going to get a broken neck, because everyone else is coming in with their heads up. But it's your first time being in a tackle situation, a tackle football situation, may have your head down like that, and that is going to have some sort of damage.
Welcome back to DBL. Crispin Glover, creepy yet very good looking, is known for portraying unique characters on screen. Who could forget his role in Back to the Future? Hello, McFly, huh? Earlier, I sat down with the intriguing actor to talk about his latest movie. Check it out in today's Chatting with the Stars. Crispin Glover, what an amazing honor to meet you, to interview you as an actor. I've always looked up to you and your commitments. Now, you really are, to me, the best part of every movie you're in, and Lucky Day is no exception.
Flight 6 now arriving.
Purpose for coming to the United States?
Business, pleasure.
Describe your character, Luke.
I only had 7 days from getting the screenplay to being on set.
No way.
Playing the character. Yeah. So it was a very fast turnaround. Really, an excellent character comes along. You've got to commit and make your choices and go. And so I was happy to commit to this international man of mystery, I like to call it.
I like that. It sounds like Austin Powers, but darker. I really like that. Now, there's a lot of dark humor, actually, speaking of this, in the film. Is a good, broad comedy on the horizon again? Our entire team is obsessed with Hot Tub Time Machine and your role that you play in it. Do you like doing the dark or the really broad humor better?
Well, I think good humor has some sense of darkness to it. Even Hot Tub Time Machine, there's some darkness. I mean, they're waiting to see an amputation, essentially.
Everyone I know loves you in Back to the Future is George McFly, but you actually had a lawsuit about the sequel. There are some interesting things going on there. What's that about?
There'd been a lawsuit about the sequels to Back to the Future because the producers had taken the molds of my face that were made for the old age makeup on the first film, and they used those molds to create prosthetics.
Wow.
That were put onto another actor in order to fool audiences into believing that I was in the sequels, which I wasn't. And of course, this is illegal.
Yes.
Luckily, never going to happen to another actor again.
Absolutely. Now, I've seen some photos of you and your pops. You and your dad look ridiculously alike. I look like my mother, too. It turns out you've actually been working on a film with him for more than a decade. When am I allowed to see this, and what's up with that? Tell me all about it.
Yes, it will be ready next year, finally. This is the first time my father and I have ever acted together, ever. I own property in the Czech Republic. There was 2.5 years of building 18,000 square feet of sets in the former horse stables for the property. And I'm still working on it, but it is going to be ready for next year.
Oh my God, I cannot wait. Now, speaking of the Czech Republic, you have a castle?
Well, it was something that was built in the 1600s.
Wow.
I specifically bought it for the purpose of making my own films.
Wow.
I don't shoot in the chateau. I shoot in the former horse stables on the sets.
Got it.
But the crew and cast stays in the chateau.
Crispin Glover, what an honor. It really is such an honor to talk to you. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
He's so cool. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Grubhub.
Yo, back. Now 1, 2.
Okay.
1, 2.
Wow, that was hurtful. Hurtful and accurate. Hurtful and accurate.
Oh, okay.
2.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow, guys, that is probably the most fun I've had in like a good long time.
I do that with my niece.
Hypothetical.
She loves it.
If humans lost the ability to see all color except for one, which color would you want to survive? Green.
Navy blue.
Well, that's not. It's a good. That's a good answer.
Great.
If your sheets had to be made out of deli meats, what meat would you want them to be made out of? I think a prosciutto.
What's that, calabrese?
Prosciutto's very
Thin, isn't it?
I like prosciutto.
It's like a calabrese stromboli.
Yeah,
Calabrese?
That's
so
calabrese.
good. Calabrese.
We could do.
Calabrese.
I know a little pastrami.
Calabrese.
I don't know.
Keep
It's
going,
this
keep going.
hypothetical thing. Okay. How would the world be different? Oh, I don't know the answer to that.
Nope.
If money wasn't a concern, where would you live? What would you do? What would your lifestyle look like?
I would live in Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivory
Really?
Coast. The Ivory
Côte
Coast.
d'Ivoire in Africa.
Yep.
Wow.
I think you get bored. Everybody wants to move to these like beautiful places.
And then you'd be so bored.
bored in 3 weeks.
But
Everybody's
no,
like,
money's
I
not a
want to
thing,
live
though.
on the beach and drink margaritas. How long are you gonna do that?
Sorry.
Before you're bored, what are you gonna have 4 a day? You're gonna be bloated and dead in 3 weeks.
I don't like
I would be
outplaying
so
this
bloated.
game.
I would be bloated. I'd be like, chips.
About that. So there was a CEO, he built $1 billion company, and he said, he's like, yeah, you can go ahead and like take off time, decide to like go travel the world and live out your dreams. He's like, but then you're gonna hit this point where you're gonna come back, and everybody else has been trucking away,
Right, and
then
feel
you're
lazy.
gonna try to get back into the game,
Right.
and you're gonna be behind, and now you're in the same situation that you were in before, except now you're behind. It's like, just take a
really
vacation.
popping my yacht bubble.
You know what though? You would be so bored. And the thing
My
is,
yacht, I have a lot on
but
my
if
yacht.
you
There's
notice,
stations.
how many billionaires still get up and go to work? I remember when I was a writer on Shaquille O'Neal's show, Vin DeBona, the guy who
Yes.
created America's Funniest and Videos. First, at that time, he's probably in his mid-70s, and I would walk to work, and his office was like on the corner. He had this really beautiful office, and he would be at work before I was. Every day, this guy invented the concept of goof videos. That is basically the entire genre now, and he's still at work because there's nothing to do.
There's
Sitting on your
yachts.
yacht, you'd be so bored.
Welcome back to DBL. Al, you have some comments for us?
I do. Our boy Michael Loveland chimed in talking about our homie Jeff in L.A. He says, Jeff got to L.A., yay. He'll probably have every bit as much fun getting back.
Yeah, did you see it?
I mean,
did you see what happened?
No, what happened?
You know Jeff and the whole flight problem. So he gets on the plane and he's like, this one's gonna work. He sat on the runway with Jordan for like 3 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
He was
I don't feel
weird
bad for him.
travel
No,
karma.
it's not weird. It's called manifestation.
Yep.
Jeff
Yep.
constantly brings this on himself. I'm sorry. I love you, Jeff. But the more that you're like, this is going to suck, guess what? It's gonna suck. But I hope you don't have any delays on the way back, because that would just suck. Here's what's coming up next on Daily Blast Live.
Outspoken investigative journalist Ronan Farrow holds nothing back. Why he believes there was a Matt Lauer cover-up. Then, bravery on display when a clerk snatches a gun from a would-be robber. But where's the suspect now? And a juvenile jailbreak when a big brother busts his little sister out of her crib. The hilariously cute video when DBL comes back.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray Banks, makeup extraordinaire for Daily Blast Live, and today we're talking about some of my favorite red light beauty tips. Now, these are my favorite tips to get you through a quick fix without having to ruin your whole makeup sleigh. Yes, honey, I'm here to help you save the day. So, did I just do a whole haiku? Go ahead, sis. Now, to get back to our point, we're talking red light beauty tips such as how to put on your makeup. Now, I'm not gonna tell you the actual technique, but I'm gonna tell you which step you should be putting in your makeup. Now, I want you to think, what do you usually do, or most people do? We put on our base first and add the blush and the bronzer and warm everything up. It's a good time, right? But then, when we get to eye makeup, we almost always have this big mess underneath our eye. Think about that last time you did a smoky eye. I know, sis, it was a mess, for sure. That whole black cloud underneath, it's never fun. So, let's go ahead and think smarter and not harder, all right? Now, instead of doing our makeup first or our foundation first, I want you to start doing your eye makeup first. This is a great way that a lot of professional artists use to go ahead and make sure that we're actually helping to release or reduce time that we're using to correct any under eye fallout. It almost always happens, so this is the best way to help you fix those issues. Now, another issue, if you may have gotten a lot of fallout underneath that eye, going back to that whole smoky eye issue, we can actually take a little bit of an eye cream or moisturizer on a Q-tip and utilize that to go ahead and remove any excess makeup products that might be underneath your eye. A lot of pros wouldn't tell you, but I'm nicer than the rest of them, y'all. So with that being said, I want you to go home and try out using that double-sided Q-tip to take out any excess makeup from underneath your eye. And also remember that quick tip, do your eye makeup before your foundation. It'll save you a lot of pains later on in the day. Now, you can thank me later, guys, and you can follow me at Dre for the Slay for more beauty tips. We'll see you guys next time.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We're live. Let's get started. Investigative journalist Ronan Farrow was on Good Morning America promoting his new book. His reporting helped spark the Me Too movement in 2017. Now he's defending his timeline of events, saying NBC knew more about the accusations against Matt Lauer than it was leading on. Watch.
What we show in this book, with a paper trail, with documents, is that there were multiple secret settlements and non-disclosures being struck with women at NBC News.
Those were after the fact, weren't they, the two non-disclosures?
Nope. Years before, over a period of 6 to 7 years, a period in which NBC had previously denied any settlements. There were 7 non-disclosure agreements. Multiple ones of those were with Matt Lauer accusers. This is years before this incident with Brooke Neville's and the firing.
And a former Today Show employee told People magazine, quote, "If you didn't find his flirting behavior charming and just using the word flirting feels wrong because it was so much more predatory than that, and it was not harmless, then you put a target on your back. If you didn't find his comments about your ass or your weight loss or your beautiful eyes to be funny or flattering, if you dared to say it was inappropriate or worst of all, asked him to please not say that again, then you were either dead to him, like you really became invisible, or worse, you were someone he'd talk about in negative terms. You were either able to be one of the guys with him, or you were in jeopardy."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so interesting because what I've read a lot about the Ronan Farrow book, it's coming out. It's #1 already. It hasn't come out yet. They have documents, they have text messages, they have hardcore evidence that NBC was repeatedly told over and over again, you've got a problem with Lauer. You've got a problem with Lauer. 7 payouts, he's saying, allegedly. At some point, he went, Ronan Farrow, to NBC to say, I got the scoop, I'm going to put it on NBC, and they said, kill it. So now what he's saying is Weinstein was involved in having that killed, saying a hard no on any reporting. So he went to the New Yorker, Ronan Farrow, and won the Pulitzer for this entire thing. So something at NBC is really interesting. Something's going on.
I don't think it's just NBC. I really want to hear from you, Eric. I'm just saying my thoughts, and I genuinely want to hear from you. My thoughts is this is about almost not a bygone time, but I don't know if we're going to see this again. I don't know if anybody will ever be as powerful that people are scared to take them down like this was. Yeah. Because in my question to you, Erica, and to you, Tori, as well, you guys have been in journalism most of your adult life. Have you seen women the difference between women that decide to play the game and the women that don't?
Yeah. Well, just to be clear, I haven't been in journalism. I've been in media, which I think media, that's 2 different things. I'm not surprised by any of this because really what it comes down to are dollars and cents. If you have someone who is a staple in your organization and they are producing and bringing the money in, then there has been protections in place because the reality is in order to take that person off the air, it would cost the company far more money than it is to shut up a low-level employee. So when you have situations where, because I've absolutely worked with the narcissist before, I was very clear about the fact that it was inappropriate and I felt really unsafe. And it was minimized. And I think when it's minimized, then it starts to make you feel like maybe you're being too sensitive. Yeah. Maybe it is you. Yeah. And you have someone who pulled himself up in the ranks to the point of, and let's just be very clear about what this was. Matt Lauer was sodomize a co-worker and get away with it safe. If that doesn't make you feel some type of way about where you're sending your daughters, your nieces, even your sons in organizations that you think should be trusted, then I don't know what else is going to make you, because all of these stories are not something that people have come up with in their heads. HR knew about this. So many people knew about this, and they went to bed at night knowing that they were allowing this to continue to happen. And I think they all need to pay. Well, we're going to switch gears because Jane Fonda was arrested. She's in D.C. protesting climate change. She'll be at the nation's capital every Friday until at least 2020. She tells our sister station, WUSA, that she plans to demonstrate, get arrested, and repeat.
This is Jane Fonda. People, I know our audience doesn't like Jane Fonda. A lot of them don't. A lot of them do, because in Vietnam, she protested in a way that really angered a lot of soldiers. But Jane Fonda is one of the first people of the women's liberation in terms of getting women to be able to protest and get out there. She is an incredibly committed protester, and she's in, I think, her 80s or late 70s, and she's still doing it. It's typical Fonda, and her whole family, the Henry Fonda, they were all like this. That's how they grew up.
I just find that type of protesting, that's the talk. Like, where's the action? Are you coming up with some sort of legislation for the climate change? Are you creating some sort of like economically friendly gas thingy? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's not Jane Fonda's job.
That's not her job.
But
she's not a congressperson. She's saying do something. She's literally at the Capitol saying do something.
But she has the type of power that she can go up and work with the scientists. She has the type of money to where she can go fund those type of projects.
But who's going to listen to that scientist? It comes down to the people that write legislation, and that's why you have to vote these people in or vote people out. And I mean, we're seeing this, what you can do when you look at the gay marriage movement, is you make it on your politicians like, if you don't fix this, you will be at home next year. So how are you going to vote? You listen to your constituents, and she's trying to raise awareness, and we're talking about it.
You know, I just have to rewind a little bit because I think that's more telling than anything when we have these conversations about climate change. You just said, who's going to listen to the scientists? I have 2 scientists in my family. They're both geologists. They've made this their life's work. And people are far more likely to listen to people with a bigger platform than the people who have spent their entire life researching and trying to find answers.
Would we have cut in for a scientist being arrested? No.
Right.
Jane Fonda got arrested.
You're absolutely right.
So that's why she teams up with the scientists, because she has the platform.
There you go.
Well, you have to see this video out of a Kentucky hotel, but it might be disturbing for some viewers. You see an armed man demand money from a woman working the counter. She throws it over to him, but then he gets distracted, so he sets the gun on the counter. That's when the employee grabs it. He takes off, but comes back. She aims the gun at him. This time, he took it seriously. Wow. It's so hard to say what you would do in a situation like that, but just having, anytime someone is brandishing a weapon, you have to assume that they're ready to use it. So I think she made the right move, but it could have gone either way.
Yeah, this video should be on that show, The World's Dumbest Criminals, you know? Like, he just left it there while he was grabbing, and great heads up for her. And it kind of reminds me of, remember that video we played with the guy at the bar when they were getting robbed, and he was just sitting there so calm.
Some people just get really into focus, tunnel vision, and they are made for fight or flight. And a million years ago, her ancestors might have been excellent at stalking woolly mammoths. She just has a very calm...
I did not see you taking it. I did not see you taking
lizard brain.
She went to the Flintstones.
Let me tell you, her lizard brain, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, kicked in right there. And instead of freaking out and fighting or running away, she got focused. And I'm telling you, that comes from just different evolutionary brain concepts of she stays calm, whereas another person might freak out.
Well, I do think it's interesting how you react to situations, and you never know until it happens in the moment.
Woolly mammoths better be in the same.
No, I was very surprised. Like when I had an intruder, and where my brain went, I never would have thought that my brain would have gone there. It was very like, I just saw things step by step. What am I supposed to be doing right now? And then once I knew that the police were coming and I was going to have help, that's when I started to like freak out.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it's very strange where the things that you say and do, because something else just takes over.
The lizard brain.
The lizard brain. Well, Liam Hemsworth is finally moving on from Miley Cyrus. Stephanie Jones, how do you know?
Wow, how do I know? Well, you've seen out and about, Erica, with a young mystery girl they were seeing strolling in the streets of New York City. We're learning who she is. Only a fellow Australian. She's an actress, Madison Brown, who's on the show Dynasty. And it doesn't entirely seem like Liam is searching for a Miley lookalike because, hey, she's blonde. You'll remember Miley moved on quickly, and now she's getting singer Cody Simpson to be her boyfriend. So guys, what do you think? Does she look like Miley, or is he breaking the mold?
I don't know if it matters. This dude, like,
he wants to be left alone, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think this is what you do. You broke up. Like, you broke up. It's over. She moved on. You move on. That's it.
That's the way life
It'd be
goes.
weird if neither one of them was able to do that. I think that's the problem. Somebody can't let go, and these talking to them a year later, and they're still like, yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. I think they're doing the right thing. I think he's in New York, and he's like, I'm going to be left alone with this new girl.
Stephanie, what's he supposed to do? Like, how? Like, this is the media, your pop culture, entertainment. Yeah. What's the right breakup protocol if you're in the?
So, I mean, let's be honest, these guys are heavily publicised, and no matter what they do, there's always going to be some criticism. We saw Miley move on really quickly, apparently, but what we need to remember is what the media tells us and what actually went on in that relationship are two very different things. By the time we found out, Miley had recorded a whole album about the situation. So, I mean, they could have been long gone for a long time, in which case, he should just be doing whatever he wants anyway. Who cares?
Yeah. Good point. It's generally over for a long time before everybody else knows about it.
That's very
I know from experience. Thank you, Steph.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Well, this is the cutest video. A little girl asked her big brother to help her escape her crib. Watch.
Eli, what? I'm talking to you. I got it. What does you want? I want to lay down in your bed and then my baby and I can lay down. I can lay in your bed? Yeah, I'll let you. Oh, you're good. Okay.
Oh my gosh. She eventually gets down and Levi actually climbs into her crib to grab her doll. I am very familiar with this. My brother Aaron and I used to have these conversations because he would be in his crib and I would be in the bed, and I was like 6 and I think he was in the crib till 3 because we had like a 2-bedroom apartment. He used to launch himself out of his crib onto the bed, and finally after he hit his head on the wall because he overshot the landing, my parents put us in the same bed so we slept head to what is it?
Toe.
Yeah.
That's the Seinfeld right there.
That is so cute.
That is head to toe. Yeah, that was so cute. I love that.
Isn't it weird, like, for all the incredible TV we have on Netflix, like, I would watch that show of those kids for like half an hour. It's like, this conversation.
Totally great.
Well, coming up on DBL, we'll show you how an extra pep in her step helped a mail carrier drop more than 100 pounds. It's today's inspiring heartthreads, and Amazon makes life so much easier, but they've also got some very weird products. We'll show you the craziest we found next.
Awesome, thank you.
I'll remind you guys next hour. Oh, hello. Hi, guys. What's going on up here?
Hello.
Sorry, I didn't know I was going to be on camera. I would have taken my coat off. We've got a great segment coming up. We've got some crazy Amazon products that we're going to look at. Some of the weirdest products on Amazon, so we can't wait for you to see those. Brandon, what else is going on? We got any comments coming in?
Oh yeah, we do have comments. We're going to go back to the kids playing football because we do have the Twitter poll up, which is going to be there all day. So make sure, DBL Nation, that you are constantly voting. Thomas McGee says, at first I was 100% against kids playing tackle football. Now I'm going to have to agree with Brandon. Teaching kids how they should protect themselves in an at-risk sport seems like the way to go. Thank you, Thomas, for writing in. Like I said, like we're teaching these kids at a young age about binary nouns and pronouns and all that to teach them how to go forward. That's the same thing with football. We should teach them at a young age, so as they get older, they learn how to tackle better and they play football better. Chelsea Cole says Jane Fonda is a flipping joke.
A lot of people dislike Jane Fonda. A lot of people after Vietnam, and I understand that. And Mr. Vato wrote in and said not just soldiers, but a lot of people dislike what she did. And she got arrested back then, and she made some strong comments. I'm not going to say what I do, but just know that she is a very controversial figure.
But if she has the platform, then she teams up with the scientists. Then I feel like that's a great protest to where people are learning and people are able to hear that scientist's
I'm
voice.
sure there were scientists there, but it's not up to her to make the plan. It's up to her to get the cameras there.
Yep.
And then finally someone is like, yo, you do it or you don't. But I do understand the controversy over her. At first, I have to be honest, season 1, I talked about Jane Fonda in a way that I kind of blew off that controversy. So I just want to say I do understand that there was a lot of hard feelings there.
Welcome back to DBL. From toiletries to new clothes, shopping is a basic need of life. But have you ever bought something on impulse and thought, why did I buy this? Like every day. Fortunately for us, Amazon is full of crazy and funny products for sale. Like this box of nothing for only $9.95. The perfect gift for the person who said they want nothing for their birthday.
That's the dumbest thing.
Or how about this? The boyfriend pillow. Here's its actual description. He's loyal. He's true. The boyfriend pillow is the perfect snuggle companion without the jealousy, gassiness, and aggravation. Or what about this? 7-piece ear cleaning tool set that advertises high quality and a practical design for only $5. But we saved the best for last. Tori, what product did you find?
Okay, what looks like a fun little shiny.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Right? Like you could put this for fall. Yep. Oh, wait. Is this the towel? Hold on. I'm sorry. Is that Nicolas Cage?
Oh my God.
Yes, it is.
That is creepy. That is, just for the record, it's even more creepy in-house than it is on television.
Okay, I got one right here. I'm gonna top that one because DBL Nation, you're so used to laughing at Tori's jokes so hard that you own yourself. So we've got here instant underpants. All you have to do is add water and voila, you've got underpants.
So weird. It's like a capsule.
Adding water to your underpants is exactly what OBGYN tells you not to do.
It comes as this, and then you add water, and then bam.
Yeah, you shouldn't be adding water to your underpants. That's like an infection waiting to happen. Al, what you got?
All right, I have something that's really kind of cool right here. I don't know if you guys are feeling this.
Sound like it, Al.
Peanut butter and jelly soda. Yes.
Turn it out.
And guess what else?
Oh boy, oh boy.
Peanut butter jelly time. That's right, guys.
Hey.
All right, and guess what? I have enough cups for everyone.
That's okay.
All right, Brandon, are you going to try it?
If you try it.
I will try it.
Wait, Nick Cage.
That's been back there for a long time.
Listen, Brandon.
I need my peanut butter and jelly.
All right, Brandon, toast.
Is that good?
Salud.
Wasn't good. Wasn't good.
If something happens to us, do we get workers' comp?
No.
All right.
Here we go. Tell Nick Cage what you thought.
It's not that bad.
Nicholas is really not that bad.
It's not that bad.
I think Nicolas Cage would love this.
I think you were supposed to shake this up first.
Oh, all right. Yes.
Yeah.
No more of that.
What was good?
It was
I
good.
really want a peanut butter and no, I want a real peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Why, are you 9 years old?
I've been craving a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I don't want to buy a loaf of bread because then I'll waste all the other pieces of the loaf.
Well, then go to Panera Bread.
Oh, they have peanut butter jelly?
Yes, they have all your basic sandwiches for $40.
It is overpriced. It's a little overpriced.
So, coming up in the Christmas spirit, any of these options for the people that you love.
That's right.
Coming up on DBL, an update on a teen hero who helped stop a school shooting. We'll tell you about his inspiring new accomplishment. And next, a postal worker's dramatic weight loss, how simply showing up to work led to incredible results. Next in Heart Threads.
I want you to meet Forky. Golly, Bob House. Look how long his arms are.
Trash?
No, toys. They're all toys.
Trash.
I never thought I'd be able to relate to a confused plastic spork. No matter how old you are, though, Toy Story 4 is hilarious, and a big reason why is this new toy, Forky, voiced by Tony Hale. I got the pleasure to catch up with the Veep and Arrested Development actor ahead of the movie's DVD release in today's hilarious Chatting with the Stars. Tony Hale, welcome to Daily Blast Live. Were you aware, by the way, Tony, of how many adult fans love Forky? So I wanted to read some tweets to get your reaction. Quote, Forky is the best, the end, the anxiety icon. Or I don't know who is the most relatable. Character Bo Peep, strong and independent. Woody refuses to ask for help. Or Forky, trash.
You know, I was very overwhelmed even to be asked to be in this movie.
Right.
Forky's very overwhelmed. He sees the world very simply. He asks a lot of questions. You know, he's kind of in the middle of his own existential crisis where people are like, hey, Forky, and he's like, here's the deal. I'm a spork, so let's establish that. I don't know why you're calling me Forky.
So he's gender identified with a different cutlery.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he's like, you know, I was made to help people eat and go to the trash, so I don't know why you're calling me a toy. But Woody comes along and he's like, listen, you're made for more. You have purpose. You are worthy to be loved and to love. And it's just like, oh God, who doesn't want to hear that, you know?
I forkin' love it. Now, you're a dad to a 13-year-old who says, you say she's embarrassed by everything you do. Would she be more embarrassed by your
Everything
Mr. Roboto commercial? Or the time when things got revealing on Sex and the City with Kim Cattrall.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about a remarkable weight loss. Watch how a mail carrier worked hard to get fit on the job.
This mail carrier lost more than 130 pounds running on her mail route and found a healthier lifestyle in the process. Before she began running, Jamila weighed nearly 300 pounds. She and her husband were raising 3 kids. And she decided she needed to set a better example. After 2 years, she lost more than 130 pounds and also found she could get home earlier to enjoy dinner with her family.
I love that energy that lets off and the conversations that are upheld at the dinner table. So I run to do that.
Running is also therapeutic for Jamila, helping to relieve internal pain.
Sometimes the pain that's inside of us hurts more than that heat. Running helps relieve some of that pain.
Even when the going gets tough, Jamila rises to the challenge for her family and to inspire others to find happiness in hardship.
We can just continue to do it every single day, door for door, delivery for delivery, spread that joy. It can become infectious like a fire.
I love the dedication and the commitment. Great job, Jamila.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Grubhub.
I'm Jeray, what's up? And I think you guys were just talking, was it a deal last time we just had up? I forgot what we had up. But anyways, it was Heart Threads, which is always great. You always gotta end your week on a good heart thread. However, I did want to let you guys know that we do have our brand new podcast that is up and running, featuring me, of course, and a few other couple people. We have our first one that's already live on SoundCloud, Apple iTunes, Scripts? No SoundCloud, my bad. Stitcher, that's what it is, Stitcher, my bad. And then, but you guys have to check it out for sure. It's actually on my social media page, and we're getting ready to film another today. And I'm covering everything that's entertainment, a little bit of celebrity news. It's a whole lot, really. So you always want to check into it to get your scoop. If you happen to miss the show, which you shouldn't be, it's a quick way to get your recap of what's going on in the whole week. So make sure you guys are checking that out. Now, what weekend plans do you guys have going on?
I'm going to be here, and I'm going to Miami on Sunday.
Oh, that's what. So we're missing you Monday?
My Sunday is going to kill your Sunday.
I'm coming right back Monday morning.
You're doing a 24-hour pool?
Yeah.
What? That's crazy, Al.
You call me crazy. My Sunday, can I get a drum roll, please? Because you guys, guess what I'm doing this Sunday?
What it is?
Really dear to my heart. I got invited to a Broncos game by the Erica Cobb.
Oh.
Bang, bang. What? I'm gonna have a foam finger right next to her and everything.
That's so cool.
Let's go.
Champ's getting inducted.
Champ gets inducted?
Oh, that's huge.
Goodness. Well, I'm gonna have an extra shot of espresso for Erica on Monday because Erica's gonna be through on Sunday. Y'all are gonna have a good time.
Thank you.
It's just a lot of extra energy for Erica. She normally doesn't have to have like a little brother around. So
a little brother? I'm grown.
You are grown.
Yeah, I'm grown.
But you like a little brother to Erica.
That's because y'all
We
give us
like
that
the
role.
little brother crew though. Like I'm like the good little brother, and you're like the little brother that everyone likes to tease. You know?
We get real here right now. What else is on the podcast, Dre? What else is on the podcast? Is that what you're doing?
Sunday sounds so fun though.
Al,
I think it's gonna
Al
be a good
said
time.
the other day, when a rapper comes out with a new album, he starts some sort of beef. So that's what he's doing. That's how he's promoting his podcast.
It's true, but speaking of rappers starting beef though, real quick, did you guys hear about what T.I. said recently about Iggy Azalea? So, Iggy Azalea, as everyone knows, was founded by T.I. She's from Australia, but she was founded by T.I. Yeah, she was a YouTube sensation, all that stuff. T.I. signed her, right? T.I. recently did an interview that said she was the biggest failure of his career, pretty much, as a music EP, which is a big claim, because, like, T.I.'s had some pretty, like, shoddy singers and rappers, to be honest. And he was saying that he's looking forward to having another female rapper that he could, you know, promote better than Iggy. So let us know, do you guys think that he was crossing the line on that a little bit, or do you want to hear more about the podcast? We'll talk soon.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time to honor our superstar of the week. You may remember Brandon Biley. Back in May, he joined Kendrick Castillo in disarming the STEM shooter in Colorado, saving the lives of his classmates. Heartbreakingly, Castillo lost his life in the struggle. To honor his friend and continue to protect others, Brendan has just become a United States Marine. We at DBL want to thank Brandon for his service and bravery. And in November, DBL co-host Jeff Schroeder will sit down with Kendrick's dad, John. He'll share intimate details about his son's life and how Kendrick's death has given him a new mission in life. You don't want to miss it.
Two heroes.
Yeah.
Two heroes right there. And I was watching the movie, and they were saying how there are wolves. They're the bad people in life. There are sheep. They're the people who need to be protected. And then there are sheepdogs. Guys like Brendan, guys like Kendrick Castillo, who ran to the roar. You know, and now this guy, Brendan, he's had it in him this entire time, and now he's going to go out there and represent our country and protect us so we can be on this panel. So, I mean, you're a hero, man.
And Tori, you got choked up when you were doing this. Like, what emotions were you feeling?
Because I didn't know what I was, when I read it, he said in honor, I think it was because he said in honor of his friend, he became a Marine. Yeah. There's a sense that he's living out the legacy for the both of them.
Yes.
And I think there's got to be some feeling of it could have been me. So, beautiful story.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, be safe out there. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Hi DBL Nation, Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital Team. Happy Friday, we're happy you're here with us for Between the Show with Shuby right now. I actually have a disturbing story coming in from New Jersey. A staff at the Monmouth Medical Center, a lawsuit alleges that they gave patients Benadryl to make them fall asleep so it would lighten their workload. Now this is coming from a lawsuit filed by a woman named Patricia Moran. She was a nurse for more than 30 years and she said she was subjected to retaliation after she reported these employees and said that they were intentionally disregarding patient safety standards and going against what the hospital standards and ethics are, of course. So she filed this lawsuit, says she was retaliated against once she tried to speak up before she filed the lawsuit. She tried to speak up, go to the top people, and apparently she says she was retaliated against. So DBL Nation, this is a very disturbing story. This happened in New Jersey again at Mammoth, and this is all allegedly. This is all coming from the lawsuit, so we don't know if this is true, but this is what the lawsuit alleges. Monmouth Medical Center, again, gave patients Benadryl to make them fall asleep so their workload would be lightened. Again, this is a disturbing story. DBL Nation, let me know your DBL take on this story, and we've got a great show coming up for you. We especially want to know what you think of our fifth host. It's the story about kids and when they should play football. How young is too young? We have a PSA that says that you should not play football, and I'm talking like hit football instead of flag football, until you're 14, because it does increase your chances of getting CTE. So DBL Nation, let us know your DBL take on that story and all the other stories we're covering, and we've got a great show coming up for you. Bye.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Rudy Giuliani is at the center of a political storm. The reason two men he worked with are now under arrest. Plus, why a Democratic town hall on equality went off the rails last night.
CNN, you have erased black trans women.
Then, a shocking new PSA showing kids smoking. The message they're trying to send, but does it go too far? Plus, a hotel clerk turns the tables on a robber. Was going after his gun the right move? And our interview with actor CRISPIN Glover.
I think good humor has some sense of darkness to it.
Real, honest, entertaining, live.
Daily Blast Live starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome. Thank you, CRISPIN Glover, to Daily Blast Live. It's Friday. Woo! Help me.
There you go.
Friday, yeah.
Al?
I can't follow that.
All right, got it. It's Friday, October 11th. I'm here with Al, Stephanie, and Lindsay. I'm Tori. Sam has the day off. And Jeff is with his wife, Jordan. The two are in LA right now, and they rocked the red carpet last night.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They're there for Marriage Boot Camp premiere. They were on Marriage Boot Camp a while ago, but they look good, don't they?
They look so fabulous. So I was like working with, obviously, with Jeff last night, as we see him all the time, and he was so excited to go. But you know what? They had such trouble on the airline getting there. But I think Jeff did this to himself because I think he manifests bad plane karma, and he was sat on that runway for hours.
It's terrible. He's going to come home and be grumpy, and I hate that.
Yeah.
Well, by Monday, no, he'll be grumpy.
I'm living for it.
Totally
Follow them on
grumpy.
Instagram. You'll see the hilarity.
And Jordan looks stunning. He looked all right, but Jordan. All right, we are talking about Rudy. Yeah, he's at it again. It's all because of these two Ukrainian men you see here with Rudy. As Al says, it looks like they're feeling no pain. They had their beverages at lunch. Well, the two men were actually arrested yesterday for violating campaign finance laws to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What about comb-over laws?
I know, what is that? It's not a good look.
Scary.
Well, they were supposedly helping Rudy dig up dirt on Joe Biden's son. Well, now the feds are looking into their relationship, and today, live, this just happened, it's now become a criminal investigation with the FBI. The president has said he doesn't know the men, but here's a photograph of him with one of the men. So I'm never going to play that card because he takes a ton of photographs with a ton of people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Trump's involved in this, but Rudy Giuliani, if you don't know, those two men that were arrested had one-way tickets to Vienna, were caught at the airport, and they just had lunch with Rudy Giuliani, who apparently also had a one-way ticket to Vienna. Not looking good for the Trump's personal lawyer.
Listen, take Trump out of it. I think we need to look at Rudy Giuliani.
Can you take Trump out of it?
I think so, because you're saying you're basing it off them taking a picture together. How many people does a sitting president take a photo
Well,
with?
there's an impeachment inquiry into Ukraine, and these Ukrainian men dealing with have been arrested, and Rudy Giuliani was the conductor between all of them. So doesn't that kind of implicate Trump in some ways?
Well, the issue is that they violated campaign finance laws, and so they put certain money towards the Trump campaign, but it has not been spent. It's sitting in an account where they're waiting until this investigation is complete. So I think on his end, he's done everything right in this situation.
Okay, well, we'll wait to see. What do you think?
I don't know. I think the worst time for your lawyer to be possibly going to jail is when your other lawyer is currently in jail. And I don't know
come on.
when you're. I don't know if that's the best defense either. If somebody goes, "Hey Al, did you take a bribe?" I'm like, "I took it, but I didn't spend it yet." Is that the best? Is that all you got, bro?
Come on.
Did that catch you off guard at a bar? Like, you better have something better than that. You might go to jail.
I just think you can't tie the two together until you have the right information. We've seen time and time again, we're jumping to conclusions, and that's what leads to failing.
You are
in these
absolutely right about this. I'm going to leave Trump's name out of this, but I think Rudy's in deep.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Trump is too, but I'm going to wait until we have evidence.
Stand by.
Stand by, guys. Stand by. Well, speaking of the president, he totally went off on Joe Biden last night. You got to see what he said at a rally in Minneapolis. We have got the clip. Check it out.
So now the Democrats are making a pathetic bid to save Sleepy Joe Biden. He was only a good vice president because he understood how to kiss Barack Obama's ass.
Classy. And outside, just look at these clashes between Trump supporters and pro-impeachment demonstrators. Police actually had to use pepper spray to break up the fighting. Real quick, my thoughts are,
can you can't say fire in a crowded movie theater because it could incite panic.
Yeah, of course.
Could you say that Trump is doing the same thing with this rhetoric, and now we're seeing literally incitement of violence outside his rallies?
I don't think
is that
so.
too far?
I think that's too far because 100,000 people signed up to attend this thing. Only 20,000 can get in. So obviously he was rallying his base, and I think it's campaign season. That's what he's trying to do, right? People were in there screaming, 4 more years, 4 more years. Like, and he was like, do you want me to go off script? And people went crazy. The crowd was in uproar. So to say that he's going there and not doing what he's trying to do for his political campaign is incorrect. Yeah, I think that there have been protests outside of campaigns for years, and this is just another one.
But is there not like a line that should just not be crossed as the president with the things that you should and shouldn't say at a rally that are causing people to get pepper sprayed outside and cause fights?
Well, to be honest, that's the question. Where is that line, right? And is some of the things he's saying crossing that line? According to the First Amendment, you have a wide range of things you can say until you've really made an imminent threat. But when he says, where's Hunter Biden? I want to find Hunter Biden. To me, that's the head of the country, like making one person a fugitive out there.
Do you think us having a conversation about a line of decency is the most ridiculous conversation we've maybe ever had in 2.5 years on this show?
Seriously?
There is no line. This is pro wrestling, but sometimes the moves are real. There's up is down and down is up with this presidency and everything that's been said and the things that, I mean, there was a period of time where just, you know, when we had a debate, I wouldn't be able to call your wife ugly.
Right.
That's
no,
gone.
The bar has been
everything
lowered.
It's
on
lower.
The
It's through
It's on the floor.
core of the earth. It's gone.
Yeah.
So asking what's going on with Hunter is a fair question when he was making $50,000 a month while his father was
over and over
vice
again
president.
making someone think I've got to go find Hunter Biden. He was like, where's Hunter? Where's Hunter? Where's that? To me is very nerve-wracking.
I feel like he turns into like this bully, and we see it over and
I don't
over
think he turns
again.
into the bully. I think he is the bully. But that's up to discussion with DBL. Well, CNN hosted a town hall focusing on LGBTQ issues last night, and so much happened, and some are even saying it went a little off the rails. So first, watch Elizabeth Warren burn this about gay marriage.
Let's say you're on the campaign trail and a supporter approaches you and says, Senator, I'm old-fashioned and my faith teaches me that marriage is between one man and one woman. What is your response?
Well, I'm going to assume it's a guy who said that. And I'm going to say, then just marry one woman. I'm cool with that, assuming you can find one.
So we're all laughing because it was a great moment for her, organic, it felt right. But I think what you were saying is interesting. That slight clapback was super important.
Yeah, I mean, it's important because I think if you just look at the way the two parties are structured, it looks like Republicans come off tough. Even when they're wrong, they won't admit it. But they call people out of their name. They tell you your wife is ugly. They call you a wimp. And Democrats kind of like back down. And that's like Democratic candidates are typically looked at as wimps.
Yeah.
And even if they don't vote for Elizabeth Warren, she'll look like the only candidate that appears strong. Trump, it's no question. I mean, if I offended, I mean, they know he knows nothing. I mean, he didn't know the difference between an apostrophe and a hyphen when he tried to defend a mislabeled tweet. But he never admits he's wrong, and his base likes that. They don't care about the question. They like that he appears strong even when he's wrong. And I think somebody like Elizabeth Warren that has policy, along with the fact that she's not going to back down from Trump, I think it's going to bode well for her. What do you think?
I think it's important to respect religious views while not discriminating, and so I think her answer was an important moment. And I also think that we're moving forward as a country. So back in 2004, only 19% of Republicans supported gay rights, and now it's more than 44% of the party. So I think you have to just take time and just be open. I'm glad that CNN took the time out to create this.
Well, speaking of that, I want to find out what you guys think about this, because actually at this moment last night, a black trans woman grabbed the mic. Don Lemon stepped in. It got really heated. Steph, I want to hear what you think about this.
Black trans women are being killed in this country, and CNN, you have erased black trans women for the last time.
May I have the mic? Blossom, let me tell you something. The reason that we're here is to validate people like you. That is why we're giving, but that is why we're here.
Not one black trans woman has taken the mic tonight. Not one black trans man has taken the mic tonight.
Yeah.
Show me.
So just before I throw it to you guys, there is a rash of killings of black transgendered women in Texas. So not having one of the first few speakers be black and transgendered, did that seem somewhat tone deaf to you?
I think it's something that they need to have. It's not even a case of a question of should it have been there or not. They need to have those representatives in those situations. And you can see how clearly distressed this woman was, and for good cause too. I think Don handled it very well. He kept his decorum and he was very calm, and he actually invited her to take the mic and continue to speak. But should that have even happened in the first place? No. They should have someone on that stage.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of thought they kind of missed the mark on not having someone there, especially with this rash of killings that no one's even reporting on.
Right, they could have maybe they could have had somebody there, but I think that everyone always nitpicks when somebody does something to move forward.
Fair.
And so for CNN to even have this town hall, I think was a huge deal.
I think you're right. I think you hit it on the head. The word nitpick, I completely understand what you mean by that. When when you try and do something right, people are like, well, it's like if you plan a surprise party for staff and people are like, you didn't know that she's allergic to cake, it had to be gluten-free.
Right.
It's like you try to do something nice, and then so your thing is, well, we're done here. I'm not going to try and do anything else nice. And I think what we're missing is like, they had a good discourse. No one threw anything. No one threw any expletives. No one threw the mic at each other.
But somebody has to push the landscape.
No,
and she did.
you know what I say all the time, Tori? Somebody's got to throw a shoe sometimes, and that woman did that.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, next year at the next town hall, they will be represented. So I think it's okay sometimes. That's fine.
I think so too. Little disobedience never hurt. Well,
Can I throw a shoe?
No, thank you. DBL Live coming up. You guys, film icon Jane Fonda is arrested. We've got the developing details, and then caught on camera courage. Look at this. When a clerk confronts a would-be robber, why she refused to be a victim. Plus, I go one-on-one with actor CRISPIN Glover. He tells us all about his newest quirky character in today's Chatting with the Stars. But you all, you're the viewer, you're our fifth host. A shocking new PSA compares youth concussions to smoking. But will it actually do any good? Your comments coming up next.
Hi guys, happy Friday. Kelly Schubert here, the DBL digital team. We were laughing over here because Al was talking about throwing a shoe, and Travis and I were quoting Austin Powers. Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
Hey Al, you remember Austin Powers when he's like, who throws a shoe? Honestly.
We all felt that was one of them.
Powers in a long time.
You need to rewatch it.
Does it hold up?
It holds up 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, all of them do.
Wow. How many did he make? 3?
There's a worrisome that it didn't get in. They've been saying that for years.
What did I miss? A new what?
We're talking about Austin
Yeah, it's a
Powers.
funny.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, you mean the video is
I really love that.
A long time. I said you need to rewatch it. It's so good.
Maybe I'll do that this weekend.
You know what it is? Austin Powers is one of those movies that's not on TV all the time. Like every time you turn on TNT, like Shawshank is on, or Casino. What did you say? Forrest Gump. There's like certain movies that are on all the time, and then there's certain movies that aren't. So like you kind of like. You know, movies never on is like Philadelphia, or something like that. Yeah, it's with Tom Hanks. Remember about the first gay? He was. Denzel was his lawyer that had to come around, but it's like I actually watched that the other day. It's like that does not hold up.
It doesn't?
No, just because his lawyer is like using outdated. Like I'm not gonna represent a gay guy. People, it's like it just seems. But it's good. It's good that it seems outdated. You know, so I don't know.
She's teaching me Buddhist.
Okay, I just came up with 2 Buddhist things that I've been learning about, and I really want to explain them to you because I'm talking to Lindsay about them. The first is the second arrow. So pretend something bad just happened to me and someone's treating me terribly at my auto service, let's just say, right? Okay, shut up. My heart is hurt, I got an arrow here, and I should take care of the wound. But what do most of us do, especially Western women, a lot of us do this. We shoot the inevitable second arrow of, shoot, well, why did I do that? I shouldn't have picked them. Well, I'm so angry, I'm angry. Instead of just deal with the first arrow. Take care of what needs to be taken care of, figure it out, and don't shoot yourself and use an inefficient waste of your time.
How would you shoot yourself with an arrow?
Well, it's just a figure.
No, he's just being jerk.
It's impossible.
No, you know what I mean, Alan?
Stab
I mean,
yourself,
like, you
you
had to
know,
ruin
whatever
that.
it is,
Like,
yeah.
that's what you had to do. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. So this new PSA is tackling the dangers of kids and football. But before we show it, we do want to warn you that it's really quite alarming. We don't actually like showing smoking on DBL, especially of children. But that is the entire point of this shocking PSA. Take a look.
How's everybody doing? We all right? Great job. You guys are doing it.
Tackle football is like smoking. The younger I start, the longer I'm exposed to danger. You wouldn't let me smoke. When should I start tackle? Choose flag under 14.
Wow. Every time we play that, the studio goes silent. It's very effective. DBL Nation, does this change your views on allowing children to play tackle football below the age of 14? Al, go ahead.
All right, let's do this. Christoph, great name. Christoph from Facebook says, I tend to think about what if your child ends up pursuing high school, college, or even pro ball, and they don't know how to take or recover from a hit because all they know is flag football. That lack of experience could hurt them in the end. I don't know if I want my kid to be experienced in getting hit very hard. I don't know if we've, I think science has shown that, you know, you have to understand your brain sits in a liquid. And so anytime that the brain is sloshed around, it's going to move in that liquid and hit the side of your skull. And your brain is very soft, and that damage does not recover. We saw Aaron Hernandez, who ended up murdering a lot of people with the brain of a 90-year-old. We saw the pro wrestler Chris Benoit with the brain of a 90-year-old. It doesn't matter the sport, whether you're being punched in the head, tackled in the head, body slammed on your head. You cannot have your head hit things, and I think we've seen it over and over again. They're just trying to say, let's try and delay that as long as possible if you are going to do activities that get your head hit.
Bruce from Facebook says, I'm a coach and I won't let my son play until at least 5th grade. Thanks for writing in, Bruce. Well, I'm new to the American world of football. It's very different to our sport of football and rugby. But obviously, exactly, I'm going to echo what Al just said. We take literally our brain so much sometimes for granted and how much we need to protect it. And especially when we're young, our skulls are still fusing for so many years and our head is actually quite soft. Yeah. So I think this needs to be really a precaution. I mean, obviously, they're all wearing helmets, but still, I think, you know, until you're slightly older, I'm sure they can play the game without tackling each other and hitting each other.
Like flag football. They can just do flag football.
Yeah.
Ashley from Facebook says, I just had a conversation about how many kids have died or suffered from serious injuries just this year alone. My family will stick with baseball and basketball. I just think we need to look at the fact that a former NFL player, 49ers player, Chris Borland, was the referee in this film, and he quit the NFL after 1 year because he was concussed. So I think it's a message that we just need to listen to. He was concussed twice, actually.
He was the referee in this PSA, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And also New York, California, and Illinois are thinking about banning the tackle football for kids under age 12. So it's something that we should take seriously and just consider.
Yeah, and I think it was an effect. No matter what, that was an effective ad. It got our attention, and we're talking about it. Let us know, DBL Nation. Well, coming up on DBL, Jane Fonda thrown in the clink. What is this, 1800s? We've got the details, and it's the baby jailbreak of 2019. Watch how a big brother helped his little sister escape from her crib. But first, I chat with the ever creepy Crispin Glover to get the 411 on his latest role and the European castle he calls home. Chatting with the stars is next. Oh, nice. I love this. All right, guys, as you know, I'll come over here. I like to talk about, this is my Twitter poll dancing segment. We could work on that.
Oh, okay.
I'll workshop that. I did this.
I was like,
and then
somebody's
grandma. Twitter poll.
Mary.
So this is the new thing we're doing, and Michael Better, smart idea. We're leaving it up and open all day long.
Oh, shit.
He did. It's very strange. We're not used to it, and we have a party afterwards for it. What age do you think kids should be allowed to play tackle football? We've had it up since 10:30 this morning. So far, we have under 10, 16%. 10 to 11, 3%. 12 to 13, 13%. The high majority, 14 plus, 68%. So that's what this PSA is about, flag under 14. Play flag football where you grab the flag instead of tackle until you're 14.
Wasn't that called capture the flag?
Yes, but it's a different thing. See, we're not sports people.
But Brandon did say that a lot of these
cases.
cases when people have concussions are adult players, and playing in the NFL is totally different than being a child.
Totally.
And since I don't understand that dynamic, I don't want to go too in detail about it. I'm just saying if there's one player telling his story,
we
who
should
also
listen.
play in the NFL, we should listen to both sides.
Now, also, a lot of you are writing in saying, look, it's not just football.
Yeah, no,
it's hockey.
that's the problem.
Soccer is one of the most. Jeff always says that it's lacrosse.
And baseball, you can get hit with a 90-mile-per-hour
I think
ball
you
on
can
the
get
face.
hit by anything though at any point.
But it's the repetitiveness
but
is
the
this.
repetitiveness.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like that's why they're literally like running into each other with such speed and force, and our bones aren't actually like fully developed at that age.
Well, Welcome back to DBL. Crispin Glover, creepy yet very good looking, is known for portraying unique characters on screen. Who could forget his role in Back to the Future? Hello, McFly, huh? Earlier, I sat down with the intriguing actor to talk about his latest movie. Check it out in today's Chatting with the Stars. Crispin Glover, what an amazing honor to meet you, to interview you as an actor. I've always looked up to you and your commitments. Now, you really are, to me, the best part of every movie you're in, and Lucky Day is no exception.
Flight 6 now arriving.
Purpose for coming to the United States? Business. Pleasure.
Describe your character, Luke.
I only had 7 days from getting the screenplay to being on set.
No way.
Playing the character. Yeah. So it was a very fast turnaround. Really, an excellent character comes along. You've got to commit and make your choices and go. And so I was happy to commit to this international man of mystery, I like to call it.
I like that. It sounds like Austin Powers, but darker. I really like that. Now, there's a lot of dark humor, actually, speaking of this, in the film. Is a good, broad comedy on the horizon again? Our entire team is obsessed with Hot Tub Time Machine and your role that you play in it. Do you like doing the dark or the really broad humor better?
Well, I think good humor has some sense of darkness to it. Even Hot Tub Time Machine, there's some darkness. I mean, they're waiting to see an amputation, essentially.
Everyone I know loves you in Back to the Future is George McFly, but you actually had a lawsuit about the sequel. There are some interesting things going on there. What's that about?
There'd been a lawsuit about the sequels to Back to the Future because the producers had taken the molds of my face that were made for the old age makeup on the first film, and they used those molds to create prosthetics.
Wow.
That were put onto another actor in order to fool audiences into believing that I was in the sequels, which I wasn't. And of course, this is illegal.
Yes.
Luckily, never going to happen to another actor again.
Absolutely. Now, I've seen some photos of you and your pops. You and your dad look ridiculously alike. I look like my mother, too. It turns out you've actually been working on a film with him for more than a decade. When am I allowed to see this, and what's up with that? Tell me all about it.
Yes, it will be ready next year, finally. This is the first time my father and I have ever acted together, ever. I own property in the Czech Republic. There was 2.5 years of building 18,000 square feet of sets in the former horse stables for the property. And I'm still working on it, but it is going to be ready for next year.
Oh my God, I cannot wait. Now, speaking of the Czech Republic, you have a castle?
Well, it was something that was built in the 1600s.
Wow.
I specifically bought it for the purpose of making my own films.
Wow.
I don't shoot in the chateau. I shoot in the former horse stables on the sets.
Got it.
But the crew and cast stays in the chateau.
Crispin Glover, what an honor. It really is such an honor to talk to you. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
He's so cool. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Grubhub.
We are live, DBL Nation. What's going on? Brandon London here. I want to highlight, we're always giving you guys behind the scenes. I want to highlight my little sister here who came out to Denver to visit. This is my sister Tyson London.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello,
Say hello.
everyone.
I'm so proud of her. She's getting her master's in athletic training. And what's one thing about athletic training, now that you're in it, what's one thing about it that you didn't expect going into it?
Just the relationship that you form with your athletes.
Oh, really?
You really need to have a relationship because it's more than just athletic trainer-athlete. It's like you all have to come together.
Oh, I didn't think about it like that. But now that I think about it, like my time playing professional sports and all, like I'm still cool with a lot of the trainers that I've had. And obviously, DBL Nation, you guys know that our father is professional, college football coach. So we grew up in this lifestyle. Did you know you were always going to want to do this, go into something athletic like this?
I wouldn't say always, but I knew that I liked the sports and also the sports medicine aspect, and athletic training combining both of them. So it's best of both worlds.
What's your end goal when it comes to athletic training? Do you have an end goal or anything?
I want to work in the high school setting, just to be able to be an influence to younger generations and help them get through the athletic experience.
In our fifth host, we were talking about should kids under 14 be able to play tackle football because of concussions. How do you feel about that?
I can understand why some people would not want them just because of the repetitive hitting, but I feel like if you teach them the proper techniques, then the risk will go down.
And you've had concussions playing soccer.
I have, yes. And that was really non-contact. It was just the way you had the ball run.
And are you seeing that a lot, or are you hearing that a lot, that a lot of soccer players are getting a lot of concussions, head trauma?
So women's soccer has typically been the sport that has a lot of concussions. So not even football is really the highest sport.
Oh, wow. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We got more DBL. Once again, this is my sister Tyson, y'all. We love being able to, you guys are our family, so we're showing you our family. DBL Nation, we got more coming up. So, see you.
Welcome back to DBL. Stephanie, do we have any comments?
So Michael Loveland actually wrote in, and he was talking about the kids playing football and hitting their head, and he said he fell 12 at age 2 and had a closed head injury. And then he said his last job, the community re-entry head trauma patient, so it became full circle. I'm not fully sure what that end sentence means, but I think what he's basically saying is he really damaged his head when he was younger, and how maybe that's affected him.
Yeah, I think football is so intertwined with America itself that when you attack it, people just get very defensive. But it's just really anything that you're doing. Take football away from it. Anything where you're constantly hitting your head is going to have long-term ramifications, and you got to be aware of that.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
Outspoken investigative journalist Ronan Farrow holds nothing back. Why he believes there was a Matt Lauer cover-up. Then, bravery on display when a clerk snatches a gun from a would-be robber. But where's the suspect now? And a juvenile jailbreak when a big brother busts his little sister out of her crib. The hilariously cute video, but DBL comes back.
Hi DBL Nation, it's Raquel here, and right now it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trendy news you need to know in under 2 minutes. So let's get that timer up and get started. Today, the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed for his efforts in ending a 20-year war. Climate activist Greta Thunberg was one of the frontrunners, expected to be the youngest ever to win the prize. And if you need one more reason to hit the gym, what if I told you there's a chance of a Hugh Jackman sighting? Well, he was spotted getting a workout in at Ohio State while on tour for his new show. Now, I call that some real workout motivation. And this is my favorite story of the week. An all-female crew flew 120 girls to NASA headquarters, and they hope this flight, filled with girls between the ages of 12 to 18, inspires them to have careers in aviation. And that's it for today's Fast Blast. See you next time.
Salma Hayek, welcome to Daily Blast Live.
Got a hit show.
100%.
The button to the NSYNC story. So this means so much to us.
I feel like we're old friends.
Salute, salute.
Salute.
Can you stand with me?
Hey Gwen, welcome to Daily Blast Live.
Hey, how's it?
I'm mostly worried about you and Sam, Jeff.
We got our ear to the streets here at DBL. How you feeling?
I'm really good, man, really good.
We love when we can bring comfort to people.
It was such an honor to speak with you. It was so nice to meet you. Big fan of yours. Thank you.
I'm black. I don't jump off a ship while it's still floating, Jack.
Did you feel a special sense of responsibility as a woman?
No.
Or did that not even come into it?
Never occurred to me. I like to remind people that news isn't always going to make you happy.
Right.
Anyone who knows me should probably not be president.
Appreciate you, Sarah. So I just want to thank you personally for that.
My pleasure. It was inspiring.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We are live, so let's get started. All right, investigative journalist Ronan Farrow was on Good Morning America promoting his new book. His reporting, remember, helped spark the Me Too movement in 2017. He got a Pulitzer Prize. Now he's defending his timeline of events, saying NBC knew way more about the accusations against Matt Lauer than is leading on. Watch this.
What we show in this book, with a paper trail, with documents, is that there were multiple secret settlements and non-disclosures being struck with women at NBC News.
But those were after the fact, weren't they, the two non-disclosures?
Nope. Years before, over a period of 6 to 7 years, a period in which NBC had previously denied any settlements. There were 7 non-disclosure agreements. Multiple ones of those were with Matt Lauer accusers. This is years before this incident with Brooke Neville's and the firing.
And a former Today Show employee is telling People magazine that you had to deal with Matt's so-called flirting. Either you were one of the guys with him or you were completely invisible. So big news coming out of Ronan Farrow backing up, saying way before this Brooke Neville's thing, they all knew we have a major problem with Matt Lauer.
As a man sitting on the panel, I don't want to be the first one to talk, but I want to direct this question to you guys, and it kind of stems from what we just heard. If you didn't, basically, the last statement was, if you didn't play the game, you were in trouble.
Yeah.
And Lindsay, we had a very candid conversation in the conference room after the meeting today, and because as a man, I didn't know. Have you seen women in your field that you've seen what happens to the ones that do play the game and what doesn't? Because I mean, you guys have been in broadcasting. That's why you're sitting here.
Right, and I think that you, as a young person, are seeking that validation, right? You get into this career, especially since he works in the same field as we do. I was a producer for years before I was on air, and you want people, especially people higher up, like the head person on television or your boss, to give you that validation and say good job. But if they stop talking to you because they can't flirt with you, that's a problem. Also, I think we should listen to Ronan Farrow and maybe not just automatically believe him, but take a strong listen to him, because he was in the NBC building working for MSNBC with his own show, Ronan Farrow Daily, from 2014 to 2015. So I don't think that he's just pulling this out of nowhere. He has 7 accounts of people allegedly being paid off because NBC knew about these claims allegedly.
Right.
So,
and all of these claims are in this new book. It is #1 right now. The book is yet to come out, and it's still #1 because all of this evidence is in there. At some point, does NBC, do you think, need to make a statement about, hey, did we know about this beforehand?
I think they're going to have to do something, yes. I mean, they're going to have to release some kind of press statement, and obviously at the moment these are just alleged comments, but still we've seen so much happening with them, and we've seen so many people coming forward and speaking their truth on Matt and how they were in particular treated. We've heard stories from women saying they went to HR saying that Matt had raped them, allegedly. I'm not saying that's not true, just it's not been confirmed or denied yet. And so, I mean, they just ignored it until a new member of HR came through into the fold, and then he was looked at.
Right.
So, I mean, how can they deny all this? They're going to have to address it, because
it smells fishy. Let's be honest. It smells fishy. Now, again, we don't know anything. We're going to wait to find out. But big explosive tell-all by Ronan Farrow coming up. Well, brand new video we just got. Jane Fonda has been arrested. Now, she is in D.C. protesting climate change. She'll be at the nation's capital every single Friday until at least 2020. Here is the video of her being taken away, arms behind her back. Now, she tells our sister station WUSA that she plans to demonstrate, get arrested, and then repeat the process over and over. If you guys didn't know about the Fonda family, this is right up Jane Fonda's alley. She's always been a protester from Hanoi Jane in the 70s that really upset a lot of people to now. Is she doing good work out here?
Well, she's doing the work that she believes in, and I think a lot of people, that's one of the things that is a bipartisan issue from the poll numbers we get, is that everybody is worried about climate change, especially if we understand we're leaving this earth to our loved ones. So I think she's doing good work. She's doing what she believes in. decision. And I would just, you know, for everybody, I hope that we can evolve. So if she did something that you didn't like 50 years ago, maybe you can give her a second chance. Sometimes you're like, I'm done with you. That's fine too. That's your decision. But I think we can all get behind climate change, right?
And people get mad at celebrities for putting up a post or a tweet, and that's all they have to say about an issue. She's really on the front lines trying to figure something out for this. So
she's been doing that her whole life.
Often we see people just doing exactly that. They post a picture or they do a tweet, but they don't actually follow through. So they do something that's very easy. They do from the comfort of their own homes. And why would we expect anything less from her? You just said she came from a family that really is activists that do things like this. So this is going to be in her blood. This is what she knows. This is how she knows how to make use of her voice.
Yeah, it's good to see her still active. So let us know how you feel.
Do we have to put zip ties on her to arrest her, though?
I know, it's Jane Fonda.
80-year-old woman, stop it.
Well, you have to see this video out of a Kentucky hotel. It might be disturbing for some viewers, but here you see an armed man demand money from a woman working the counter. So she throws the money over to him, but then he gets distracted, so he sets the gun on the counter, and that's when the employee grabs it herself. He takes off, but comes back. She aims the gun at him. This time he took it seriously. Was it smart to go for that gun?
Well, you saw she scratched her head for a minute. Like, should I do this? She had like a quick second to think about it. But bravo to her, she's being brave, but she also could have got really hurt, so I'm scared. I mean, she has nowhere to really go there. It's just like duck or run.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, as somebody that's been a comic for 12, 13 years, I'll tell you the people that work overnights at hotels, they've seen it all. Those people and the people that work daytime, like, oh, good to see you, Mrs. Granger. They're dealing with the drunks that come in at midnight. Where's my room? They're not even staying at that hotel. So she's probably seen a lot, and I think that probably tempered her in steel. She's ready for anything.
Yeah, it's in that moment you have that fight or flight syndrome, don't you? And sometimes you'd either really kind of retreat into yourself,
or you fight back.
Or you're going to fight back. Yeah. And I know in that moment, if I'd been in that exact situation, I'd have done exactly the same.
I could see you taking the gun.
Well, you're a licensed
She's also
firearms
like a weird,
shooter.
rifle woman.
We didn't even have the words.
We don't even know how to say it. Rifle one.
I called her a licensed shooter person.
It's very eloquent, Al. Very eloquent.
Sorry if my tech talk's over people.
Yeah, thanks for listening. All right, we have some bad news coming out of Los Angeles, guys. A deadly wildfire is ripping through homes in LA. Raquel, what's going on?
Tori, a man died trying to save his home from the fast-moving wildfire. He died of a heart attack, and it's called the Saddle Ranch Fire, and it has grown to more than 4,700 acres. More than 100,000 people have been forced to flee their homes. The flames ripped through more than a dozen homes in Southern California with no containment in sight. Now, I'll keep you updated on this developing story.
Thanks, Raquel. Wow. Saddle Ridge Fire not doing well, not contained yet. We will keep you updated, absolutely. And to our DBL Fire Department, they love us. DBL, we love you right back. We are sending prayers. Well, Liam Hemsworth is finally moving on from Miley Cyrus. Whew!
Oh, I'm glad Thor could move on and get a girl. What are we doing
Stephanie
here?
Jones, how do you know?
All right, well, Thor, he's been seen out and about making out with a mystery girl. So they were seen strolling in New York City, and we're learning who she is. She's a fellow Australian. She's actress Madison Brown, who's on the show Dynasty, and it doesn't entirely seem like Liam is searching for a Miley lookalike, but you know, she's got the blondie locks, and you'll remember that Miley moved on rather quickly, and now she's calling singer Cody Simpson her boyfriend. Dun, dun, dun. Drama.
So can I be honest, Steph? Does this make you think they might have been separated for a while? It makes me think they were ready to go.
Oh, come on. I mean, you know what? We all think just because we see a little snippet on social media that we know everything, but guess what, people? We don't. So, yeah, let's be honest. When they split up, Miley casually dropped an album all about her breakup. Right. You don't write an album overnight. They were split up months ago. And let's be honest, Miley's had her fun, so Liam, go get yours too.
Liam needs to have some fun too. He seems like he didn't get anything out of this relationship.
He got to be with Miley Cyrus.
All right. He got Miley Cyrus for a good time.
Do you have any tissue so we can cry for Thor?
No, I ran out.
Multi-millionaire model.
Wow.
Yeah,
the violins. That's right. Yeah, I'm glad to see they're moving on. That's great. Well, this is the cutest little video. A little girl asks her big brother to help her escape her crib. Watch this.
Eli, what? I'm talking to you. I got it. What does you want? I want to lay down in your bed and then my baby and I can lay down on you. Can I lay in your bed? Yeah. Let me check. Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, let me think. All right, she eventually gets down, and then Levi actually, so gentlemanlike, climbs back up to grab her doll because she is missing her doll that was in her bed at the time. This is so cute. It makes my ovaries hurt. It's so cute.
Wait, guys, I have a suggestion. I don't know, you know, obviously we have to talk about Trump sometimes and it gets heated. People write in, they're heated, they're upset. How about when it gets like at the absolute peak, we just run 20 seconds of that as a palate cleanser, and then we'll just all come. Because you cannot be upset after you look at that.
No.
That is like one of the cutest things I've ever seen on the internet. That's
and don't
saying
you guys
much.
know that the nighttime, if you had siblings, was like the best time for you guys because you would sneak and do stuff, talk about stuff, play games, and so this just reminds me.
The fort with the flashlight.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that was like, I was living for that. That was everything.
There you go.
My favorite thing.
I built a fort pretty old in life.
I did one last year, so don't worry.
Okay, not last
don't
year.
Worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Coming up on DBL, we'll show you how an extra pep in her step helped a mail carrier drop more than 100 pounds in today's inspiring heart threads. And Amazon makes life so much easier, but they've also got some very weird products. We'll show you the craziest we found coming up next.
Hey guys, Kelly Schubert here. We gotta go give Al some new information. Let's go. Hey Al, we have to tell you that the reason your Thor joke was not sticking is because that's Chris Hemsworth, his brother.
Oh, who is he?
Yeah, but we didn't say anything we needed to too. I mean, they were both
Is he famous for anything?
Yeah, Liam's also an actor.
So here's yours.
They're both actors, but Liam's not Thor.
No, I said absolutely.
Thor's brother, exactly. There you go, DBL Nation. We cleared that up for Al.
It's about 27
What's
times.
this, guys? We were explaining to Al that Thor is Chris Hemsworth, not Liam.
Wait, the whole time we
Yeah, I was trying to be like, hello, but
So we're doing, talking about crazy Amazon.
Liam is from the Hunger Games. He's really good in that. What else is he in?
Tori and Al. We're going to do this slightly different. After every product, we're going to talk about the product. So we need a little bit extra time.
So what, am I pouring the cup for everybody?
So you're going to have, after we introduce all the products, so we're going to talk about all the products, and then we're going to be like, all right, we have some in studio. Al's going to show the pillow, then Stephanie's going to show this, so you'll be like, we have this right here. Drop it in. And then you'll hold these up as the
I know. So guys, this is the weirdest stuff
And
we
then-
have on
and then
Amazon.
this is yours.
And
Sorry,
if you
do I
don't
pour
know,
it for-
sometimes
And
we
you-
have
and
to
see
like
if you
kind of
really
like
want
just
some.
chill
Okay.
out backstage.
And what is it?
And I spend a
Oh,
lot of my
pumpkin
time
pie.
on like those lists that are like, can you believe this?
I like pumpkin
It's
pie.
under
And
50 on
so
Amazon.
yours is $5.49.
And I buy a lot
I cannot
of
wait
it.
to see this.
Your 6-pack is
Not good, but some of these are very, very interesting to see.
And this is non-alcoholic?
Yeah, I know. You wish this was alcoholic. So write in your favorite thing that you got from Amazon that's super weird, because I want to know. I want to know.
They have some weird stuff.
They have some
on
weird
it.
stuff.
$23 for non-alcoholic. I'm a bit.
That's a little much.
Yeah.
Welcome back to DBL. From toiletries to new clothes, shopping is a basic need of life. But have you ever bought something on impulse and thought, why did I buy this? Well, fortunately for us, Amazon is full of crazy and funny products for sale, like this box of nothing for only $9.95. It's the perfect gift for the person who said they want nothing for their birthday. So there it is, just nothing. Or how about this? The boyfriend pillow. Here is an actual description of it.
Oh wait, this is it.
He's loyal,
like,
he's
ow.
true. The boyfriend pillow is the perfect snuggle companion without the jealousy, the gassiness, and aggravation.
weird. That's really weird.
So people use that to feel love.
It's also a good practice for a serial killer.
Yeah.
That is super creepy.
If you went to a date's house and they had that, I'd be like, do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. I'd be like, I'll give it a go.
No, I would not. All right, what about this? A 7-piece ear cleaning tool set. All right.
I'm in.
That you would like this. It advertises high quality and practical design for only $5.
No, you're not supposed to even stick things in your ear like Q-tips.
Yes, but it feels good,
It'll feel
Lindsay.
so
That's why
good.
people do it.
Yes, I'm with that. I'm with
Do you
that.
like your hearing? I don't know if that's what it affects,
I'm
but
without.
It probably does if you're sticking a metal rod in there. So,
But
yes.
it does feel good.
But I have the best product.
All right, we saved the best for last out. What is it?
$9.99. It looks like a red pillow, a little ball out.
Like
nice
a cool
part.
autumn pillow.
Yeah, like the nice little throw pillow. But look, oh, who is this?
What?
Oh,
That's so weird.
this isn't
That is
Con Air.
so
This is
weird.
Mr. Nick Cage. Look how beautiful this man is.
God, you're doing a terrible job.
I'm looking.
How much does that thing cost?
I don't know how much.
You know what it
How many friends would it cost you? Is that, I think the question.
Whatever that costs,
That's more
it is called-
creepy.
It's cost too much.
Yeah.
Is what that is, exactly.
Well, are you ready to see what I've got for you,
All
Tori?
right, let's see what you've got, my love.
Only some instant underpants, or as I would say, knickers. Just drop them in the water like so.
Here we go, here we go.
And yeah, okay, it takes a little while, but here's some that I made earlier.
There we go.
Look at these bad boys.
Why wouldn't you just pack
what you
underwear?
want to look
Just in
sexy
case.
for
What's
your
the material?
boyfriend.
Oh, come on. Who wants to
Why
feel
wouldn't
this
you
on their
just pack
body?
a pair of
Feel that?
underpants?
That's disgusting.
I mean,
So
maybe
weird,
you want to feel like you're in hospital for a day.
It feels like toilet tissue.
Fancy dress.
What's going on in your life where you're going through underwear to the point where you need backup underwear?
Seems like it's a gift to put in that nothing box.
It's not going to work in an emergency, but they are only $5.49. You could buy a decent pair for that.
That's true. All right, what do you have?
All right, I have pumpkin pie soda. This goes for a 6-pack for $23.
Ew, that's expensive.
So do you guys want to try it?
I'll try some.
Okay,
want
so
pumpkin pie?
Sounds so disgusting.
Could have been sweet
You won't
potato
have
pie.
to go get, is it like Patti LaBelle's who sells hers at?
Oh, she's a great
Yeah,
pie,
you won't have to
isn't
go get
she?
that. You can just have this to drink.
Were you
What
a
is with
bartender
Americans like?
I am a mixologist,
obsessed with
yes.
pumpkin.
This is good. All right, guys, ready?
Creepy.
Come on.
Here we go. Everyone take one. Nick Cage, get one.
There we go.
All right,
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to DBL.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
All right.
Here we go. Oh, it tastes like medicine. It's like medicine.
It's not that bad.
I like it. So I ate it.
No,
Not as bad as I thought.
It's not bad.
It's good to me.
There we go.
Like a big sweet tooth.
All right, coming up on DBL, you'll be enjoying that. An update on a teen hero who helped stop a school shooting. We'll tell you about his inspiring new accomplishment. And next, a postal worker's dramatic weight loss. How simply showing up to work led to incredible results. Next in Heart Threads.
Guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray Banks, makeup extraordinaire for Daily Blast Live, and today we're talking about some of my favorite red light beauty tips. Now, these are my favorite tips to get you through a quick fix without having to ruin your whole makeup sleigh. Yes, honey, I'm here to help you save the day. So, did I just do a whole haiku? Go ahead, sis. Now, to get back to our point, we're talking red light beauty tips such as how to put on your makeup. Now, I'm not gonna tell you the actual technique, but I'm gonna tell you which step you should be putting in your makeup. Now, I want you to think, what do you usually do, or most people do? We put on our base first and add the blush and the bronzer and warm everything up. It's a good time, right? But then, when we get to eye makeup, we almost always have this big mess underneath our eye. Think about that last time you did a smoky eye. I know, sis, it was a mess, for sure. That whole black cloud underneath, it's never fun. So, let's go ahead and think smarter and not harder, all right? Now, instead of doing our makeup first or our foundation first, I want you to start doing your eye makeup first. This is a great way that a lot of professional artists use to go ahead and make sure that we're actually helping to release or reduce time that we're using to correct any under eye fallout. It almost always happens, so this is the best way to help you fix those issues. Now, another issue, if you may have gotten a lot of fallout underneath that eye, going back to that whole smoky eye issue, we can actually take a little bit of an eye cream or moisturizer on a Q-tip and utilize that to go ahead and remove any excess makeup products that might be underneath your eye. A lot of pros wouldn't tell you, but I'm nicer than the rest of them, y'all. So with that being said, I want you to go home and try out using that double-sided Q-tip to take out any excess makeup from underneath your eye. And also remember that quick tip, do your eye makeup before your foundation. It'll save you a lot of pains later on in the day. Now, you can thank me later, guys, and you can follow me at Dre for the Slay for more beauty tips. We'll see you guys next time.
Welcome back to DBL. Now, we love some heart threads around here, don't we, guys? Yeah, that's right. Well, guess what? Today's Heart Threads is all about a remarkable weight loss. Watch how a mail carrier worked hard to get fit on the job. This mail carrier lost more than 130 pounds running on her mail route and found a healthier lifestyle in the process. Before she began running, Jamila weighed nearly 300 pounds. She and her husband were raising 3 kids. and she decided she needed to set a better example. After 2 years, she lost more than 130 pounds and also found she could get home earlier to enjoy dinner with her family.
I love that energy that lets off and the conversations that are upheld at the dinner table. So I run to do that.
Running is also therapeutic for Jamila, helping to relieve internal pain.
Sometimes the pain that's inside of us hurts more than that heat. Running helps relieve some of that pain.
Even when the going gets tough, Jamila rises to the challenge for her family and to inspire others to find happiness in hardship.
We can just continue to do it every single day, door for door, delivery for delivery, spread that joy. It can become infectious like a fire.
Oh, it's infectious, all right. And what a great story that was. How are you guys feeling about that story?
We should go run into lunch.
I feel like I need to go running. Yeah, that was amazing.
Brandon, do you reckon you could keep up with her?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, come on now. We're talking Super Bowl champion, Grey Cup champion, Brent. No, I can't. I was on the treadmill yesterday, Stephanie. I'm running. I tried to kick it up a little bit, and I was like, let me go back down. But
blame it on the altitude.
What's that?
Yeah, the altitude
Blame
here in Denver.
Yeah, I don't use excuses. She didn't use excuses, and she lost 130 pounds. I'm not going to use excuses. I need to get in better shape, but it just comes from that passion. You see that she had some sort of motivation, and she stuck to it. So that was pretty awesome.
It's amazing. I'm so proud. That's amazing for just doing her job and losing all that weight. Good for her and her family. We will be right back with our DBL Superstar of the Week.
Hey guys, it's Friday, which means it's officially the weekend. So I want to know what you guys are all up to. Make sure you write into us with the hashtag dbltake. We want to hear, what are you up to? What are you doing this weekend? What are your plans? Here in Denver, oh my gosh, it's just been snowing. For one day, there was like a weird flash snowstorm, but now the sun is back out. So, you know, keeping up with like the whole fitness trend that we just saw Brandon talking about in Heart Threads, I'm going hiking this weekend. I'm very excited. I'm going to go do the flat irons, which are in Boulder, which is a neighboring city here. So I'm going to go and do that, and I'm really, really, really looking forward to it. I love going there. It's so pretty. So that's my plan anyway for this weekend. But I don't actually know. This is really bad, but because we use different measurements. We use different measurements in America to what we do in England. So 130 pounds, I actually don't know how heavy that is. So I'm trying to think, what's that the equivalent to? Who can I ask about? How heavy is 130 pounds, Mike?
130 pounds?
Like, if you had to put it in terms of an object or something that I might be able to work out. Like, how much weight did she lose? Because I don't work in pounds.
130 pounds. So for you, that would be about 57 kilograms.
57 kilograms. So there's 14 in a stone. Oh God, here we go, trying to work this out. So there's 14 pounds in a stone.
1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds.
1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Let's do a Google search on this. Let's put 130 kilograms into stone. Let's make it into something that I can wrap my head around.
20.4.
The knickers.
20.4.
They're right here.
Steph. I won it. 20.4.
20.4. Oh my gosh, she lost that much stone.
130 kilograms.
Wait, kilograms?
It's about 9 stone.
Wait, that says 20. I mean, 9. I'm getting very different numbers here, and I'm also waving around a pair of paper pants. Well, I'm trying to get. Wait. Let's just clarify. How much weight did the woman lose?
130 pounds.
130
9
pounds. Which equals 9 stone. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot. That's a human being.
Yeah.
That's a human being. That's a whole human being. And with that, I mean, how much longer have we got on this break? I don't really know. We've still got 3 minutes.
Whenever you're ready, girlfriend.
We've got 30 seconds, so me and my paper pants are off back. See yas.
Welcome back to DBL. Now, this is a new one. Check out what this climate change protester did. The man who is visually impaired could see enough to climb onto a plane at a London airport and filmed himself doing it. I'm guessing he immediately regretted this because he actually got stuck and had to be rescued by firefighters and then was later arrested.
I mean, this backfired on 2 levels. He was arrested, and also with him on top of the plane, it just looks like he loves British Airways and he wants people to fly more. It just,
What if it's all an ad for British Airways?
They could just meme that and be like, thanks, bro.
Yeah, seriously, hundreds of other people were protesting, as you know.
Yeah.
Not like this. I think this is ineffective.
Yeah, also, we've seen so many protests that have really caused so much disruption actually in London. So this was at London's 5th biggest airport, and they're trying to close it down from Thursday through to Sunday. And the reason is being that they're trying to open up new runways, and so they're trying to protest against that because they don't want the new runways. They don't want more planes. They don't want more climate change. They're trying to save the environment. So that's their way of trying to do it.
See, I disagree. I think it's an incredibly effective way when you do something this disobedient and kind of disrupt stuff.
If that plane would have taken off, is that effective?
No,
I would be so mad though, only because, you know, this has affected me at times and my family coming to and from America because
people being on top of your planes?
Well, never that. The people have like started putting drones out that come onto the runway, so then the pilots can't actually land and take off.
There's a lot of issues at the British Airways.
There's lots of issues in London at the minute with this new runway. So yeah, it annoys me, but I do like the cause.
There you go. Well, now it's time to honor our superstar of the week. You may remember Brendan Biley back in May. He joined Kendrick Castillo in disarming the STEM shooter in Colorado, saving the lives of his classmates. Heartbreakingly, Castillo lost his life in the struggle. To honor his friend and to continue to protect others, Brendan has just become a United States Marine. We at DBL want to thank Brandon for his service and his bravery. And in November, DBL co-host Jeff Schroeder will sit down with Kendrick's dad, John. John will share intimate details about the son's life and how Kendrick's death has given him a new mission in life. You absolutely don't want to miss it.
It feels nice to pull something positive from such a sad story.
Yeah. And I think he feels like he's living for both of them in some respects. It was like a moment of chance. One survived, one didn't.
I just like that we're on TV every day so we can bring these stories back. And rather than just like, oh, that was something we covered a year ago. It's like, no, that father's still going through it. It will forever go through it. But you see the positive impact. They always say a rose can grow from concrete. And I think we're looking at that right now.
I so too. Just to make sure, we're checking on our underpants here.
My knickers are still very much not evolving.
This is a scam.
It's a scam, everyone. It's a scam.
No, they never turn into this.
We'll see you Monday, same time, same place, hopefully with better knickers. Bye.
Happy Friday, it's Kelly Schubert here, the DBL Digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news, and I do have a trending story coming in. Do you remember when Paul Rudd was on Friends? I, of course, do. He was Phoebe's man. It was so cute. They ended up getting married in the end. Remember, they got married on the road when it was snowing. Remember? Of course you remember. Anyway, we're getting a story from Paul Rudd from Friends. Apparently Jennifer Aniston had hurt her toe on set. Of course, Jennifer played Rachel. Apparently she had hurt her toe on set, so she was driving around in a Segway. Well, Paul Rudd, the first day he was on set, he was like, let me try to drive your Segway. Well, he apparently got on the Segway and ran over Jennifer Aniston's already injured foot. So I thought that story was pretty cute. I love hearing stories from behind the scenes of shows that I love. Did you watch Friends? Let me know if you did. I know a lot of people love Friends in here, and then there's a big group of people who absolutely hate Friends and think it's a terrible show. So DBL Nation, I'd love to know what you think. Please send me your DBL take on that. I also want to know your DBL take on our fifth host story for today. It's how old kids should be when they're going to play football. You know, this involves CTE that you can get from getting concussions, getting hit in the head when you're too young, and your chances are a lot higher of getting that if you start football at a young age. So the PSA that we're airing is basically saying don't start hitting football. I forget what it's called. What is it called? Tackle football. Thank you, Brandon. tackle football until you're 14 years old. So they're saying play flag football. So I'd love to know what you think about that. Please give me your DBL take on that, because it is kind of an important story, and I know a lot of our viewers, you have kids who play football. So let us know what you think about this. All right, we've got a lot of great stories coming up. We'll see you soon.
What we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Rudy Giuliani is at the center of a political storm. The reason two men he worked with are now under arrest. Plus, why a Democratic town hall on equality went off the rails last night.
CNN, you have erased black trans women.
Then, a shocking new PSA showing kids smoking. The message they're trying to send, but does it go too far? Plus, a hotel clerk turns the tables on a robber. Was going after his gun the right move? And our interview with actor CRISPIN Glover.
I think good humor has some sense of darkness to it.
Real, honest, entertaining, live.
Daily Blast Live starts right now.
3, 2. Thank you, CRISPIN Glover. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's
Friday!
Thank you.
I had to save you, Tori, because your sister Katie said that I do it better than you do.
I know. I don't want to talk about it.
So,
It's a sore subject. I don't want to talk about it.
Off-camera stuff, on camera.
Cool. We're going to start there, Erica. Here we go. I'm here with Erica, Brandon, Al, and I'm Tori. Sam has the day off. And get this, Jeff is with his wife, Jordan. The two are in LA right now, and they rocked the red carpet last night.
Look at that.
I know. They are there for Marriage Boot Camp premiere, and they are looking smoking, especially Jordan.
Sorry,
she looks amazing.
Yeah, she does.
Well, she does,
weird,
but you creeped it out.
Okay, I'm sorry, but it was beautiful. You guys look great. All right, we're starting with Rudy. Oh yeah, he's at it again. It's all because of these two guys. They're Ukrainian men who you see here with Rudy, and it looks like they've tasted a few good beverages. Now, the two men were arrested yesterday for violating campaign finance laws to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So here's the baseline. They were supposedly helping Rudy dig up dirt on Joe Biden's son. Now the feds are looking into their relationship, and it has now become a criminal investigation. Just so you know, they were arrested as well. Well, let me get to this. The president actually said he doesn't know the men, but there is a photograph of the president with one of them right here, as you see. But I do say Trump does take an enormous amount of pictures with a lot of people. I'm not combining Trump into this just yet, but they were arrested with a one-way ticket to Vienna at the airport, and they just had lunch with Rudy Giuliani, who allegedly also had a one-way ticket to Vienna. It doesn't look good.
You know what was the saddest thing is, when they were at the airport and they got their ticket, they were like, we did it.
We did it.
You want to go to the airport bar real quick before we go to Vienna? And there was just a guy in a polo shirt and khakis that hit him with this, Erica. When you get caught stealing at CVS, one of these, like you're gonna come right back in this room, sir. That's got to be the worst.
I don't know if that's the worst. I think being a 9/11 hero and being caught up in
I might be willing to hear that argument.
might actually be the worst. It really goes to show you how emboldened people become when they think that they are invincible. Because the things that are happening right now, I think the reason why it's such headline fodder is because it sounds so unbelievable.
I could have even written this as a plot, and you wouldn't even have bought that story. It's so stupid.
Like, why would you get involved in all of this? You could have been praised and celebrated into the sunset, and you chose to, it's almost like people who have been good all their lives and they've played by the rules.
Yeah,
and then they're like, I'm gonna be a bad beep. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm in the clink. Like, what are you doing?
It's that narcissism, you know? Like, you're hailed as a hero after 9/11. We see these entertainers, the celebrities, you're a child star, and then you come back and do some sort of pornographic video, or you come out and you're beefing with someone because you want to be in that limelight, but now it's caught up with you.
I know we got to move on, but I think it'd be a great note for kids and everybody growing up how long life is.
Think about what
whether we're talking about Giuliani, Bill Cosby, or Joe Paterno, all three of those men, had they checked out a little earlier, would have had statues put up in their honor. And now look how their legacy is. You can do great all the way up and fumble the ball the last 20 yards, and it's a wrap. Yeah,
Right,
it changes the way that you'll forever be remembered.
It's a great Browns reference.
We don't fumble a lot.
Well, speaking of the president, he totally went off on Joe Biden last night. You've got to see what he said at his rally in Minneapolis. We've got the clip right here.
So now the Democrats are making a pathetic bid to save Sleepy Joe Biden. He was only a good vice president because he understood how to kiss Barack Obama's ass.
How classy. And outside, just look at these clashes between Trump supporters and pro-impeachment demonstrators. Police had to use pepper spray to break up the fighting.
Yeah.
I don't know. The bar's just become so low that now in campaign rallies, he's like kissing Barack Obama's, just the curse words. It's just all
You know what's
kind of
weird is our
unraveling.
president says and tweets stuff that we can't say on a daily
air. I know.
Yeah.
I know, because the only time I've been bleeped was repeating something that he said.
Yeah,
and they
Lindsay
were like,
said-
you can't say that. And I was like, but
he did.
Oh, okay. Well, I know the rules are different for me.
And just think, get ready, y'all, because this is just kicking off campaign season. We haven't even hit 2020 yet, and they're already out there burning stuff, burning hats, fighting in the streets. Next week, Trump's supposed to be in Dallas for a campaign rally. Beto O'Rourke is already putting out on Twitter that he's going to be holding an anti-Trump rally.
Like a counter
Yeah,
rally.
like a counter rally. So I think next week, hopefully, we don't have to speak on this. Someone's going to get hurt next week. Someone's or going
You know what's
forward,
crazy?
and you don't want to.
Eric, I don't want to cut you off, but you know, I'm listening to Brandon talk, and I don't disagree with what you're saying about somebody's going to get hurt. You honestly sound like a guy that, like, you found out another guy's talking to your girlfriend, like somebody's going to get hurt, because that's where politics is. Yep. Have we talked about policy one time?
No.
So far, have we talked about health care, what we want to do with concussions, with what we want to do with kids smoking, the vaping, opioid crisis? They've done such a good job of making it so we fight amongst each other so they don't have to do anything. They don't have to cast a deciding vote on how we're going to allocate funds. They just go, hey, this Democrat hates your country, and they go, he does.
Yeah, it's just,
and
what do they call it?
good on them. They did it.
Chaos.
They did it.
Right?
We haven't talked about policy in 3 days on the show.
But I mean, we've been talking about this from the beginning. It's all about a distraction.
You've been saying that from the day one.
Because I know when somebody's trying to distract me when I see it, and I'm very resentful of it. That's why I have to call it out. The reality is they've done a really great job of making you forget what is going to be important for you, your family, your legacy, and the idea of the way that you live. So if you feel like walking out in the streets and fighting with somebody who's standing across from it is the way that you're going to progress and really have a meaningful life, then I guess we have our answer.
Wow, very well said. All right, well, CNN hosted a town hall focusing on LGBTQ issues last night, and so much happened. Some are even saying it kind of went off the rails. First, Elizabeth Warren had this great moment, what she talked about with gay marriage. Take a look.
Let's say you're on the campaign trail and a supporter approaches you and says, Senator, I'm old-fashioned and my faith teaches me that marriage is between one man and one woman. What is your response?
Well, I'm going to assume it's a guy who said that. And I'm going to say, then just marry one woman. I'm cool with that, assuming you can find one.
So we are laughing about this and how great a moment it was and organic, and she connected. But Al, you have a great point. That last moment.
I have a lot of great points.
No, you don't. But when that last moment when she said, assuming you can find one, that was imperative that she do that for you. Why is that?
Because I feel like it was a shot. She took a shot, and I think when I've talked to people that they don't really care about policy, but they say I always vote Republican. I'm like, why? And they're like, because their candidates look like they don't take no you know what. They come off strong. Democrats are like, well, we're going to check. And, Republicans is like, we're not responding to the subpoena. What's up now? And the Democrats go, well, we don't know. They come off weak. That was the first time that I saw a Democratic candidate go, hey, I know the evangelicals aren't coming. They're not walking through that door, so I'm going to take a shot. It's like, hey, if this is what you're concerned with, I guarantee you don't have a date, because I think you're that kind of person. It was a shot, and she took it, and even though they're not going to vote for her, they will respect her.
Interesting. I thought it was a great moment for her as well. DBL Nation, what do you think about that as well? So take a look at this other moment from last night when a black trans woman grabs the mic and Don Lemon had to step in. It got very heated. Take a look.
black trans women are being killed in this country. And CNN, you have erased black trans women for the last time.
May I have the mic? Blossom, let me tell you something. The reason that we're here is to validate people like you. That is why we're giving, but that is why we're here.
Not one black trans woman has taken the mic tonight. Not one black trans man has taken the mic tonight.
Yeah.
Show me.
So at first I thought this was so crazy, and I think Don Lemon did de-escalate the situation beautifully. But then I thought about the amount of black transgendered people killed in Texas with no media covering it. It was a bit tone deaf to me, to be super honest, that not one of the first 3 people would have been a black transgender person on a whole committee about equality.
But that really goes to show you about how low on the hierarchy black trans women are.
Right.
When we talk about LGBTQ issues, generally there's a hierarchy. At the top of the hierarchy for a lot of people, the feeling is it's white, gay males. At the bottom, it's black transgender women.
Yeah.
Anytime we have a situation where we're saying representation matters, if you have one person in LGBT or Q, then all of a sudden the entire population is represented. That isn't so. And I think it's really important, and disruption is always the way that you're going to be seen. If she did not take the mic and make that scene, we wouldn't have been talking about her. We wouldn't have been talking about the fact that a tremendous amount of black trans women have been killed in all over the country, but especially in Texas.
Right.
And then these conversations wouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
I know that people hate disruption, but you know what else
Because it
people
makes them
hate?
uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
People also hate being killed and being considered a nameless, faceless person.
I agree with you on
Erica,
this one,
because when I went and looked up some stuff, to do the research, all they were talking about is the 2 transgender kids. I didn't see that until we saw this clip just now. So
Yeah.
you're so spot on. You're so right. And we all have someone that we know and we love that's LGBTQ+. So America, we need to wake up.
That's right.
Be better. That's right. Well, DBL is live, and coming up, film icon Jane Fonda is arrested. We've got the developing details. Caught on camera courage when a clerk confronts a would-be robber, why she refused to be the victim. Plus, I go one-on-one with actor Crispin Glover. He tells us all about his newest quirky character in today's Chatting with the Stars. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. A shocking new PSA compares youth concussions to smoking, but will it actually do any good? Your comments coming up next.
So what you're saying.
So what Bert was just saying, which is so important. Bye, guys. What's so important is that a lot of the media coverage isn't on this rash amount of a pattern of black transgender women getting killed, and as Erica said, in Texas, but all over. But it's been almost 10, I believe, in Texas in the last year, and no one's sort of talking about it. So at first,
I think those were 10
human beings.
co-ed. Well, no, 10 white female co-eds at
we would be all
we would be leading
over
with
it.
that every week.
Yeah. So I
10
think
people.
I thought at first, I have to be honest, I was like, oh man, another protester nitpicking. But no, it was a bit tone deaf, I think, of CNN to have forgotten or not included someone right at the top. You want representation? Here's representation. A black transgendered person asking a question. I need you to answer me right now. What are you going to do about the killings? What are you going to do about all this situation?
Erica, I'm glad you brought that point up, because it goes and it makes you even more right about how you said about why R. Kelly got away with it for so long. Who were his victims? Young black women.
girls. Oh, yeah.
So
They were doing sketches about him.
How about the serial killer, Samuel Little? He killed 93 people. No one noticed. They were all mostly black with sex workers. So he thought no one would notice.
And he was right.
And he was right. And he was absolutely right.
He picked people that he knew wouldn't be accounted for.
That's it.
His
That's
exact
totally
words
it.
right there, wouldn't be accounted for. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Sandro, though, disagrees. He says it doesn't matter that he took the mic. Nothing is going to change. I disagree with you on that. I think we just had.
But that was cute of you.
You kind of heard it right.
I'm gonna go ahead and sip my water on that one.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. A new PSA is tackling the dangers of kids and football. But before we show, we do want to warn you, it's quite alarming. We usually don't want to show smoking on DBL at all, especially children. But that's the entire point of this shocking PSA. Take a look.
How's everybody doing? We all right? Great job. You guys are doing it.
Tackle football is like smoking. The younger I start, the longer I'm exposed to danger. You wouldn't let me smoke. When should I start tackle? Choose flag under 14.
So DBL Nation, does this change your views on allowing children to play tackle football? And it's for kids under 14 years old.
All right, here we go. Cam from Facebook says, I honestly don't get the connection between smoking and football. It's way too far of a stretch. Cam, I think they're just trying to show that if you continuously do something for a long period of time, then it's going to have the effect on the brains like the smoking has the effect on the lungs. But I look at it like this. You want a kid who's never tackled to come in at 14 years old when your body is developing and you're going up against 15, 16-year-old kids, and now you're going to throw them in to go in and play tackle football? What are we doing now when it comes to teaching these young kids about binary pronouns and climate change? We're getting them what? At a young age. So we're teaching these kids how to tackle the proper way with your heads up at a young age. I think this is irresponsible just to say play flag football to your 14, then get thrown into the jungle with the hitters.
That's a good point.
John from Facebook says, I used to think flag football was pointless and that kids should just jump into tackle, but not anymore. This PSA just really confirms that. John, that's interesting. I kind of got a different feeling about this PSA, and I'm not sure if it's because my brother played football for a long time that I get a different feeling. I think that Brandon's right. When you are exposed to something at a very young age, we brought up the idea of snowboarding being another big concussion sport. My first concussion actually came from snowboarding. But when I look at the little kids who are learning to snowboard, they're in a position, a much better position snowboarding starting when they're like 4 or 5 years old than I am snowboarding starting when I was like 20. So I do think it's important that we teach people safety and we teach them how to be responsible when they're on the field.
Well said.
Oh, okay. No more comments.
Yeah, Tori, I didn't know what we were doing.
We will be right back.
Live? Okay, let's get to some of you guys' comments. Let's go to the fifth host. Let's keep talking because we got cut off on the fifth host. Let's go load up. Buttercream, crop skin. Barb says, my son played tackle football when he was a little boy. He seemed to love it. He's grown into the most gentle young man I know. Maybe there's more to it than football. It's important to teach your kids the difference between on the field and off. Ray's Vibe says, and this is on the tackle football, it says last year was my last year of coaching youth football after 9 years. Prior experience that could help a freshman is footwork, blocking, proper tackling, and the biggest fear of contact. Thank you, Ray, because you're affirming what I said. If a kid is 14 years old and he or she has been playing flag football their entire life, and then you introduce them to freshman football, JV football as a 14-year-old. They are going to, not all, but a lot of them are going to be scared of the contact, scared to go and properly tackle someone that's bigger than them, 15, 16-year-old. And that is where you get the concussions and worse injuries. So thank you all for writing in. We have more DBL coming up next. Oh, I forgot the poll.
To DBL, Crispin Glover, creepy yet very good looking, is known for portraying unique characters on screen. Who could forget his role in Back to the Future? Hello, McFly, huh? Earlier, I sat down with the intriguing actor to talk about his latest movie. Check it out in today's Chatting with the Stars. Crispin Glover, what an amazing honor to meet you, to interview you as an actor. I've always looked up to you and your commitments. Now, you really are, to me, the best part of every movie you're in, and Lucky Day is no exception.
Flight 6 now arriving.
Purpose for coming to the United States? Business. Pleasure.
Describe your character, Luke.
I only had 7 days from getting the screenplay to being on set.
No way.
Playing the character. Yeah. So it was a very fast turnaround. Really, an excellent character comes along. You've got to commit and make your choices and go. And so I was happy to commit to this international man of mystery, I like to call it.
I like that. It sounds like Austin Powers, but darker. I really like that. Now, there's a lot of dark humor, actually, speaking of this, in the film. Is a good, broad comedy on the horizon again? Our entire team is obsessed with Hot Tub Time Machine and your role that you play in it. Do you like doing the dark or the really broad humor better?
Well, I think good humor has some sense of darkness to it. Even Hot Tub Time Machine, there's some darkness. I mean, they're waiting to see an amputation, essentially.
Everyone I know loves you in Back to the Future is George McFly, but you actually had a lawsuit about the sequel. There are some interesting things going on there. What's that about?
There'd been a lawsuit about the sequels to Back to the Future because the producers had taken the molds of my face that were made for the old age makeup on the first film, and they used those molds to create prosthetics.
Wow.
That were put onto another actor in order to fool audiences into believing that I was in the sequels, which I wasn't. And of course, this is illegal.
Yes.
Luckily, never going to happen to another actor again.
Absolutely. Now, I've seen some photos of you and your pops. You and your dad look ridiculously alike. I look like my mother, too. It turns out you've actually been working on a film with him for more than a decade. When am I allowed to see this, and what's up with that? Tell me all about it.
Yes, it will be ready next year, finally. This is the first time my father and I have ever acted together, ever. I own property in the Czech Republic. There was 2.5 years of building 18,000 square feet of sets in the former horse stables for the property. And I'm still working on it, but it is going to be ready for next year.
Oh my God, I cannot wait. Now, speaking of the Czech Republic, you have a castle?
Well, it was something that was built in the 1600s.
Wow.
I specifically bought it for the purpose of making my own films.
Wow.
I don't shoot in the chateau. I shoot in the former horse stables on the sets.
Got it.
But the crew and cast stays in the chateau.
Crispin Glover, what an honor. It really is such an honor to talk to you. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
He's so cool. We'll be right back.
Promote.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Digital Break. We were just talking earlier about some new podcast news. We do have our brand new entertainment podcast of Slay with Jeray that just aired this past Wednesday. So make sure you are definitely checking it out on our podcast, on Switcher, on iTunes, and there's another one out there, but you can check out Spotify. So there is a Spotify. Someone told me no Spotify earlier, but there is one. So make sure you guys are checking it out for all the newest entertainment news, like T.I. talking about Iggy Azalea and how she was one of the biggest blunders founders of her career. If you guys didn't know, T.I. actually was the executive producer for Iggy Azalea and found her, even though she was based out of Australia. He went down under and got her real quick. And he actually said that her whole career was just a sham for him. He said he would never work with an artist like her again, and he's still looking forward to launching a new female rapper's career, which was kind of tough to hear. Iggy Azalea clapped back on Twitter, stating that T.I. was just, quote unquote, a bad guy, which was kind of weak. You would expect to have a little bit more fire under that after T.I. just called out your whole career, my friend. But, you know, this isn't the first time Iggy Azalea has actually gotten called out in the last month. If you guys remember back about 2 or 3 weeks ago on Beauty Blast, I actually called it that Iggy Azalea was being called out by Wendy Williams. So she's kind of starting to get a little bit of a gossip train going on her between Wendy Williams a couple weeks ago. Now T.I. is coming out and talking to her. But get this. Iggy, you're getting all this free press, girl. You haven't even released a new song since, like, who knows when. So with that being said, good for you, sis, because at least your name is still out there. Now, I have to come back on that real quick because Iggy did release a song with a couple drag queens back in May and June. She actually released 2 or 3 songs, Little Sally Walker and another one. Now, were they hits? No, they were not. They were actually kind of sad. So with that being said, the music video was cute, and you know, Iggy's whole overall persona is very much like twerking, big booty shaking everywhere, which is cool, don't get me wrong, but does it really sell the records? I mean, after the first 2 songs, like Now Put In Work, and then like, what was the other song? I'm So Fancy. Those were cute, you know, they were good hits for when they were good hits. But we kind of have to go ahead and progress on Iggy Girl. So what do you guys think? Was T.I. in the wrong? Or does Iggy just need to stay out of the media and keep her mouth shut because she doesn't have that great of clapbacks? Write me at Jeray for the Slay, and let's talk about it, friends. We'll see you guys next time.
What's that? Was I done? I'm sorry.
Welcome back to DBL. Al, do we have any comments?
Oh, you know I do. And people got fired up, especially talking about football, Brandon. We have our boy Thomas McGee. He says, at first I was 100% against kids playing tackle football. Now I'm going to have to agree with Brandon. Teaching kids how they should protect themselves in a risk sport seems like the way to go.
Yeah.
So do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the NFL is doing a great job, I feel as though, is teaching grown-ups, grown men on the proper way to tackle. So we have to get the kids at a young age.
Brandon, let me ask you this really quickly because you're an expert in this. You're a professional football player. Do you think that if they do, let's say they ban football until you're 18, would they then have to come for soccer, which has a ton of concussions?
Yeah, it's my
hockey, air on air, snowboarding.
Yeah, you have to.
But again, it's the repetitive hit every play.
So then no
Snowboarding,
boxing,
you're not repetitive
no
every
MMA?
time.
Well, not if you don't fall.
That's true. You have to be good. That's true. Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
Don't fall.
Outspoken investigative journalist Ronan Farrow holds nothing back, why he believes there was a Matt Lauer cover-up. Then, bravery on display when a clerk snatches a gun from a would-be robber. But where's the suspect now? And a juvenile jailbreak when a big brother busts his little sister out of her crib. The hilariously cute video when DBL comes back.
Raquel here, and right now it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trendy news you need to know in under 2 minutes. So let's get that timer up and get started. Today, the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed for his efforts in ending a 20-year war. Climate activist Greta Thunberg was one of the frontrunners, expected to be the youngest ever to win the prize. And if you need one more reason to hit the gym, what if I told you there's a chance of a Hugh Jackman sighting? Well, he was spotted getting a workout in at Ohio State while on tour for his new show. Now, I call that some real workout motivation. And this is my favorite story of the week. An all-female crew flew 120 girls to NASA headquarters, and they hope this flight, filled with girls between the ages of 12 to 18, inspires them to have careers in aviation. And that's it for today's Fast Blast. See you next time.
Salma Hayek, welcome to Daily Blast Live.
Got a hit show.
100%. The button to the NSYNC story. So this means so much to us.
I feel like we're old friends.
Salud, salud.
Salud.
Can you stand with me?
Hey, Gwen, welcome to Daily Blast Live.
Hey, what's wrong here?
I'm mostly worried about you and Sam, Jeff.
We got our ear to the streets here at DBL. How you feeling?
I'm really good, man, really good.
We love when we can bring comfort to people.
It was such an honor to speak with you. It was so nice to meet you. Big fan of yours. Thank you.
I'm black. I don't jump off the ship while it's still floating, Jack.
Did you feel a special sense of responsibility as a woman?
No.
Or did that not even come into it?
Never occurred to me.
I like to remind people that news isn't always going to make you happy.
Right.
Anyone who knows me should probably not be president.
Appreciate you, Sarah. So I just want to thank you personally for that.
My pleasure. It
Yeah.
was inspiring.
I feel like we're on Oprah.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We are live. Let's get started. Investigative journalist Ronan Farrow was on Good Morning America promoting his new book. His reporting helped spark the Me Too movement in 2017, in which he was earned a Pulitzer Prize. Well, now he's defending his timeline of events, saying NBC knew way more about the accusations against Matt Lauer than it was leading on. Take a look.
What we show in this book, with a paper trail, with documents, is that there were multiple secret settlements and non-disclosures being struck with women at NBC News.
But those were after the fact, weren't they, the two non-disclosures?
Nope. Years before, over a period of 6 to 7 years, a period in which NBC had previously denied any settlements. There were 7 non-disclosure agreements. Multiple ones of those were with Matt Lauer accusers. This is years before this incident with Brooke Neville's and the firing.
And former Today Show employee is telling People magazine that you had to deal with Matt's so-called flirting. Either you were one of the guys with him or you were totally invisible.
And I don't want to be mansplaining by jumping on this first, but I want to do that because I want to ask you guys, the 2 women on the panel. You guys have been in broadcast and media for longer than you probably haven't. Have you seen this? Not only have you dealt with this where it's kind of well known in the office that either you play ball with this person that's going to make decisions about your future, or you're not, and like the ramifications of people that chose either one of those paths.
Yeah. Yeah, no one.
See, this is new to me.
No one who's been in
so many times.
Yeah,
so many times,
especially in the industry of media, is shocked by this. Yeah, because really it comes down to dollars and cents. It comes down to if you have someone who has a show and is very successful, it is going to cost far more to replace them, especially when it starts to come to advertising, collateral, also ratings. So now we are talking huge numbers, or we can just silence someone who was brave enough to come forward.
Right.
Exactly. So you have to think how egregious this is that it got to the point where a single man, one single man, had become so untouchable because he was so successful that he was sodomized, my employee, untouchable. That people in NBC knew that this had gone on.
Allegedly, which is crazy, which is insane because as what Erica's saying true is this. The book is #1 right now already, and it's not out yet.
Ronan Farrow's book.
Ronan Farrow's book, Catch and Kill. And as she said, there are evidence, examples, text messages, HR letters saying so many times HR said, we got a problem with Matt Lauer. We got a problem with Matt Lauer. Nobody did anything until it reached the 2014 anal intercourse in which what happened, and then he was fired the next day. But at what point would you ever think I could actually take down Matt Lauer? That's how important he was, is what Erica's saying. To me, that's every day at the top of any media industry. It was like that for a long, long time for me.
And Tori, I want to ask you, being our legal eagle, now, does this book open up NBC to more lawsuits.
Many.
Retroactive lawsuits.
Even more, yeah.
Yes. Now, it also leaves, just so you guys know, Ronan Farrow open up to lawsuits. NBC
Defamation?
can definitely do a defamation. He has to show that he knew that there was a false, and then they published it anyway. So it's going to be crazy when this comes out. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, well, brand new video we just got. Jane Fonda has been arrested. She's in D.C. protesting climate change. She'll be at the nation's capital every Friday until at least 2020. Here's video of Jane Fonda being taken away, arms behind her back. She tells our sister station WUSA that she plans to demonstrate, get arrested, and repeat.
Yeah, this is
the Fondas.
But I get it, but what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, I understand we're talking about this right now, but there's no action going down right now. So I understand you have to have some sort of celebrity or someone with some sort of platform to bring awareness to it. But why not, instead of you walking up Capitol Hill and you with the bullhorn saying, stop climate change, why not have a scientist come with you, or someone who studies this comes with you?
People don't care about scientists, Brandon.
But she has the platform. But I want to hear it from the scientists. I don't want to hear it from them.
I hear from the scientists on a very regular basis. I have 2 scientists in my family. They're both geologists. This has been their lifelong work.
I'm a biologist. I'm family, so it's 3.
Yeah, okay. But to be quite honest about it, it's a conversation that people don't want to hear because they've already made up their mind based on a politician or based on an environmentalist who may have the heart in the right place, but still not a scientist.
Right. Okay.
So I think that's important to really think about that.
Yeah, and I think I understand what you're saying, but sometimes just using your celebrity to get the cameras focused at Congress is enough, because that's not her job. That's the people inside those buildings. That's their job.
I wonder if there's something fundamentally, I wouldn't say wrong, but just different in the way we think as adults, that you can't change your mind. You just said they make up their mind. I feel like I've evolved and changed my mind on everything, maybe 2 or 3 times, but that's kind of looked at as flip-flopping now, rather than I had information, I got more information, I changed my ideology. Now it's like, you're a flip-flopper. I don't understand. You can't change your mind?
They'll bring up your tweet from 10 years ago, and you're like, hey, this diesel gas is great. But, that's how we do it these days.
All right, guys, this is a crazy video out of Kentucky hotel, but it might be disturbing for some viewers. Here you see an armed man. He demanded money from a woman working the counter. She throws it over to him, but then he gets distracted. So he sets the gun on the counter. That's when the employee grabs it. He takes off, but comes back. She then aims the gun at him. This time, he took her seriously. Would you have taken the gun? Would you have done that? I mean, this woman was steady.
I don't know what I would have done in that situation. I do know that it turns out that I'm a step-by-step person.
Yeah.
Well, no, you've kind of been in that situation, Erica. I think you more than anybody can speak to this.
Well, I've never had a gun pulled on me, but I've had an intruder, and it's interesting the way that your mind works.
Yeah, you get focused, right?
How everything, it's almost like training that happened, years ago when you were a little kid. Even how to call 911, things like that it was so clear.
Wow.
So it's interesting what happens in heightened situations.
And that might have been her only chance of survival.
Yeah.
We saw that little clip, but who knows how that robber was acting before that clip, you know, and that woman could have thought that was her only chance for survival. So
well, I want her on my side.
Remember we did the story about the guy who was at the bar, and the guy came in with the gun.
Oh,
and
he was smoking a cigarette.
He's sitting there smoking a cigarette really calmly. I think I would hate to be in that situation, but I think you kind of have to act calmly, because if you get some sort of energy and you're giving off this energy like you're going to do something, that person might be scared, let off,
Yeah, you want to de-escalate.
Yep,
De-escalate, I agree.
The situation.
Speaking of de-escalating, we're hoping this gets taken care of, but right now a deadly wildfire is ripping through homes in Los Angeles. Raquel, what's going on?
Tori, a man died of a heart attack trying to protect his home from this fast-moving wildfire. It's called the Saddle Ridge Fire, and it has grown to more than 4,700 acres. More than 100,000 people have been forced to flee their homes, and flames ripped through more than a dozen houses in Southern California with no containment in sight. Now, I'll keep you updated on this developing story.
Well, our prayers with the Denver Fire Department and any fire department, of course. Well, Liam Hemsworth is finally moving on from Miley Cyrus. Thank God. Stephanie Jones, how do you know?
Well, Tori, he's been seen making out with tongues with a mystery girl. They were seen strolling in New York City, and we're learning just who she is. She's a fellow Australian actress, Madison Brown, who's on the show Dynasty. And it doesn't entirely seem like Liam is searching for a Miley lookalike because, you know, she's got blonde hair, but they're completely different. You'll remember Miley moved on quickly, and now she's calling singer Cody Simpson her boyfriend. Dun, dun, dun.
How do you like this match up? Do you like Liam having his own, I feel like he needed to have his own moment away from Miley.
I mean, let's be honest, he's not going to find it hard, is it? And a new life was too good to be true because Bradley Cooper was single, Liam Hemsworth was single. What a time for a girl to be alive. But sadly, my dreams are turning to dust.
Stephanie, what do you think of the different imagery? Because, you know, Miley's making out with the girl in Italy. She's, you know, hanging out with the little guitar guy. Now you see this picture of Liam, whichever one, whatever Thor it is. Liam. He's sitting there casually walking across the street. So do you see a difference in, you know, the kind of imagery for the breakup?
Okay, well, I mean, I think everyone handles a breakup very differently, right? And I think we obviously are seeing the back tail of this. We thought we were all caught up with it, and it happened very recently, but Miley's had time to write and release an entire album. So that suggests to me that this relationship was done a long time ago. I think they're both trying to be more private about it, which is why, you know, Cody and Miley got a bit, like, angry with the press.
I agree with you, Steph. And I also appreciate your outfit. You look like a mod fembot.
Why, thank you. I'll channel my inner Austin powers for you.
Thank you, Steph. Very nice move.
What scene was that?
You know, the fembots.
Oh, I haven't seen Austin Powers.
No, clearly. All right. Well,
I'm sorry. I haven't seen a movie that was out 20 years ago. My bad.
Sorry. Didn't know you get so mad about it.
All right. Maybe we should talk more about the imagery of it.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
this is the cutest.
Take a shot at me.
Brandon asked I mean, Gayle King would be so jealous of that question.
That question went on.
How would you describe him?
Okay, she
walking
was making
across
out.
the
He's holding
street?
hands. Do you think that's a different?
He's in the crosswalk.
Next time you gotta re-prompter.
Tell us about the cinematography when it comes to Miley and Liam.
Like,
you know,
exactly.
it's almost like we're casting.
Speaking of cutie pies, this is a cutest video. Little girl asks her big brother to help her escape her crib. You gotta take a look.
Yeah, I'm talking to you. I got it. What do you want? I want to lay down in your bed and then my baby and I can lay down. I can lay in your bed? Yeah. Let me check. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So she eventually gets down, and Levi actually climbs in after she gets down to grab her doll because she was missing her doll. He's quite the gentleman. But isn't this the cutest thing you've ever seen?
Just so cute. And I honestly, we talk about political things. It gets heated. I would just love, like, anytime it gets really heated, just play this for 10 seconds, like as a palate cleanser. No human being could not look at this and think it's cute.
My brother Aaron and I shared a room when he was 3 and I was 6, and I had a full-size bed and he had the crib, and he used to launch himself out of the crib onto my bed.
Very smart.
But we had wood panels on the wall, and one night he launched himself and hit his head on the wall, the wood paneling. So then my parents took out the crib and slept us like head to toe.
Head to toe, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good solution.
Cute.
Yeah, that's
a good solution.
Because we couldn't contain him in the crib.
That's great.
Hey, my mom found me on the edge like this when she walked in, turned the lights on like that.
On the edge of what?
The crib.
Oh.
No,
I didn't know what that.
All right,
I didn't know what that was. What was that?
You know,
it's really good imagery.
Yeah, where's
really good imagery.
Brandon, you take over.
All right, coming up on DVL, we'll show you how an extra pep in her step helped a mail carrier drop more than 100 pounds. It's today's inspiring heart threads, and Amazon always makes life so much easier, but they've also got some very weird products. We'll show you the craziest ones we found coming up next.
All right, guys, we're going to do a fun segment called Random Stuff That You Can Find on Amazon. Isn't it weird that we are so comfortable with the idea that you have something in your hand, you can have the answer to anything, anytime you want. You can eat anything you want any second of the day.
But we're still depressed.
Yes, and you can order anything. And it depending on when you order it, it can be at your house. If you're like, I want a canoe, I want a 1985 BMW, it can just be yours. There's no like the idea of waiting for things.
That's the whole thing.
Is so outdated now.
Our attention spans go so quickly now because we don't have any. But now, if we don't get something absolutely immediately, it's like it's not convenient. When convenient used to be like 5-day shipping. Now it's like, if it's not here in half an hour, it's like a crazy thing.
But yeah, the 5-day shipping. I mean, I think people would cancel the order or call the company like, why is this taking so long?
It's crazy.
Got it.
It's
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
And I get more depressed. And people, what's funny is so many more things are at your fingertips, and yet people are more anxious. Which doesn't really make any sense.
I hear you. Thank you.
Do you feel like you're more anxious?
I just don't get why I'm so anxious. If I have everything at my fingertips, I have a dream job, I have a great husband, and yet I wake up and I have enough energy in my body to light up New York City, and I don't know why. And I hate it.
Because also you know all the stuff you're not doing, and so you'll read an article about somebody your age that has been a New York City top 10 Pulitzer Prize winner 3 times. And you're like, I haven't done that.
Yeah, maybe. Or I haven't spoken out enough, or I haven't done the correct thing.
Why haven't I climbed a mountain yet?
Yeah,
all these things.
maybe you're right.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. Talk about each of these products. We're talk about each product after we show it, and I changed out 2 of them.
Okay.
So you'll have new stuff to talk about.
Does it,
Welcome back to DBL. From toiletries to new clothes, shopping is a basic need of life. But have you ever bought something on impulse and thought, why is this even a thing? Well, fortunately for us, Amazon is full of crazy and funny products for sale, like this Puff and Fluff Dog Dryer. It reduces wet dog odor, dries your dog.
It looks like they're trying to get information out of it.
After a rainy day, and warms your dog after a cold winter walk.
This is genius.
How unnecessary is this? Use a towel.
I don't know if you saw me trying to blow dry Spike. I had a diffuser and I was just like, walking around. So this is great.
I think it's too much. All right, how about this one? It's the boyfriend pillow. Here's the actual description.
That is creepy.
He's loyal, he's true. The boyfriend pillow is the perfect snuggle companion without the jealousy, gassiness, and aggravation.
It looks like a middle school bully pillow, like just a headlock.
That's so true.
That's very strange.
I also think if I walked in and you had that, I'd be like, bye.
Yeah, you know you're leaving.
Yeah, you have a dog collection and I don't want to see it.
If you walked into it.
And someone had that in their bed, I'd be
like a friend of yours.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Brought to you by Tinder.
Yeah. Or what about this? A baby mop onesie. Witness the moment when a person becomes useful for the very first time in their life.
This is terrible.
That's actually really smart. I like this.
We've got child labor laws.
You know who doesn't like this? Your kid's pediatrician when you have to explain why it has dust in its lungs. Get your kid off the floor.
Don't worry about it, but we saved the best for last. So Brandon, what product did you find on Amazon?
This product right here is a national treasure, and get your hands on it quick because it'll be gone in 60 seconds. Let's take this face off. Nicolas Cage pillow.
That's cool.
Is it?
What's even cooler is
I think maybe I would want another celebrity under there. No. Me? I'm gonna be probably E-Cobb.
It's just a weird
thanks.
I like it.
Who's like, man, I really need a Nick Cage sequin pillow. Oh, hey!
I know something everyone will need.
What is it, Erica?
Instant underpants.
Oh,
yes.
That's right. You just add water.
Just in time for St. Patty's Day.
You take this little disc and you put it in the water, and after a little while of massaging, this just feels not right.
Oh, God.
Yep. Okay, and then you get, ta-da!
Why don't
A hairnet.
Why don't you just
It is like a hairnet. Now, I'm going to tell you, my OBGYN does not recommend putting liquid in your underwear.
Yeah.
There we go.
Also, why wouldn't you just pack another small pair of underwear?
Or why don't you just not use those?
Okay.
And
Okay,
just
go ahead.
make it through the day on your one pair that you started with. How about that?
It's a goal, people. It's a goal.
I have a sweet corn soda. It smells a little loud, but we do everything for you guys here at DBL. This smells horrendous.
Okay, so just can we get a shot? It's like a neon yellow. I don't know if we can.
Yes, this is.
It doesn't look. It looks like fluid.
Well, yes,
Like,
we'll leave it at that, Tori.
Whoever doesn't make it to work on Monday, we know why.
Oh my God! It tastes just like corn. Oh, it's just dreadful.
Oh, that's kind of good.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
It grows on you a little bit.
It's good.
It grows on you, huh?
Oh,
there we go.
Our fans out in Iowa would love this.
Maybe we should give Erica Cobb some corn.
No, Tori. This is what happens when something is happening and it's a matter of national security, and I'm the vice president, so I'm in hiding.
She leaves. We need someone like that. All right, coming up.
Oh, wow.
On DBL, I'm sorry.
Wow.
And I'm sorry. An update on a teen hero who helped stop a school shooting. We'll tell you about his inspiring new accomplishment. And next, a postal worker's dramatic weight loss, how simply showing up to work led to incredible results. Next in Heart Threads. Can I grab a napkin?
I'll clean it up with the underpants.
Fantastic news.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray Banks, makeup extraordinaire for Daily Blast Live, and today we're talking about some of my favorite red light beauty tips. Now, these are my favorite tips to get you through a quick fix without having to ruin your whole makeup sleigh. Yes, honey, I'm here to help you save the day. So, did I just do a whole haiku? Go ahead, sis. Now, to get back to our point, we are talking red light beauty tips such as how to put on your makeup. Now, I'm not gonna tell you the actual technique, but I'm gonna tell you which step you should be putting in your makeup. Now, I want you to think, what do you usually do, or most people do? We put on our base first and add the blush and the bronzer and warm everything up. It's a good time, right? But then when we get to eye makeup, we almost always have this big mess underneath our eye. Think about that last time you did a smoky eye. I know, sis, it was a mess for sure. That whole black cloud underneath, it's never fun. So let's go ahead and think smarter and not harder, all right? Now, instead of doing our makeup first or our foundation first, I want you to start doing your eye makeup first. This is a great way that a lot of professional artists use to go ahead and make sure that we're actually helping to release or reduce time that we're using to correct any under eye fallout. It almost always happens, so this is the best way to help you fix those issues. Now, another issue, if you may have gotten a lot of fallout underneath that eye, going back to that whole smoky eye issue, we can actually take a little bit of an eye cream or moisturizer on a Q-tip and utilize that to go ahead and remove any excess makeup products that might be underneath your eye. A lot of pros wouldn't tell you, but I'm nicer than the rest of them, y'all. So with that being said, I want you to go home and try out using that double-sided Q-tip to take out any excess makeup from underneath your eye. And also remember that quick tip, do your eye makeup before your foundation. It'll save you a lot of pains later on in the day. Now, you can thank me later, guys, and you can follow me at Dre for the Slay for more beauty tips. We'll see you guys next time.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about a remarkable weight loss. Watch how a mail carrier worked hard to get fit on the job. This mail carrier lost more than 130 pounds running on her mail route and found a healthier lifestyle in the process. Before she began running, Jamila weighed nearly 300 pounds. She and her husband were raising 3 kids. And she decided she needed to set a better example. After 2 years, she lost more than 130 pounds and also found she could get home earlier to enjoy dinner with her family.
I love that energy that lets off and the conversations that are upheld at the dinner table. So I run to do that.
Running is also therapeutic for Jamila, helping to relieve internal pain.
Sometimes the pain that's inside of us hurts more than that heat. Running helps relieve some of that pain.
Even when the going gets tough, Jamila rises to the challenge for her family and to inspire others to find happiness in hardship.
We can just continue to do it every single day, door for door, delivery for delivery, spread that joy. It can become infectious like a fire.
I love the dedication and the commitment. Great job, Jamila.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
I want you to meet Forky. I'll let Bob have. Look how long his arms are.
Trash?
No, toys. They're all toys.
Trash.
I never thought I'd be able to relate to a confused plastic spork. No matter how old you are, though, Toy Story 4 is hilarious, and a big reason why is this new toy, Forky, voiced by Tony Hale. I got the pleasure to catch up with the Veep and Arrested Development actor ahead of the movie's DVD release in today's hilarious Chatting with the Stars. Tony Hale, welcome to Daily Blast Live. Were you aware, by the way, Tony, of how many adult fans love Forky? So I wanted to read some tweets to get your reaction. Quote, Forky is the best, the end, the anxiety icon. Or I don't know who is the most relatable. Character Bo Peep, strong and independent. Woody refuses to ask for help. Or Forky, trash.
You know, I was very overwhelmed even to be asked to be in this movie.
Right.
Forky's very overwhelmed. He sees the world very simply. He asks a lot of questions. You know, he's kind of in the middle of his own existential crisis where people are like, hey, Forky, and he's like, here's the deal. I'm a spork, so let's establish that. I don't know why you're calling me Forky.
So he's gender identified with a different cutlery.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he's like, you know, I was made to help people eat and go to the trash, so I don't know why you're calling me a toy.
Oh, man.
But Woody comes along and he's like, listen, you're made for more. You have purpose. You are worthy to be loved and to love. And it's just like, oh, God, who doesn't want to hear that, you know?
I fork and love it. Now, you're a dad to a 13-year-old who says, you say she's embarrassed by everything you do. Would she be more embarrassed by your
Everything
Mr. Roboto commercial? Or the time when things got revealing on Sex and the City with Kim Cattrall.
She hasn't seen a lot of my work. She hasn't seen Veep, and she won't until she's in her middle age. No, but it was fun to be able to share a Toy Story with her.
That's
awesome. Because she grew up on that franchise, and so it was neat it was cool to have her see her dad in that.
Veep just ended forever. Were you surprised when Julia Louis-Dreyfus didn't win Best Actress in a Comedy, especially because she could have made Emmy history?
I mean, I'm such a huge Julia Louis-Dreyfus fan, so I think she should win everything she goes out for.
You're right. Out of all the roles that you've had, and they're really some of the most well-written comedic roles ever, which one was your favorite, if you had to say?
They're all so different.
Yeah.
I think probably just because it's so fresh.
Yeah.
On Veep, we got really close.
Yeah.
And so I just loved the whole process because it was a real kind of free environment where you were free to like throw out ideas even if they were bad.
Right.
I had the time of my life.
It's like
on
a
that
family
show.
situation almost.
Yeah, it really was, and that's what you want.
Thank you so much, Tony Hale. You're amazing.
Oh, perfect. Great.
Such an honor to
Thanks,
talk
Tori.
to you anytime. And bye, brother.
Bye, bye, sister.
Now it's time to honor our superstar of the week. You may remember Brandon Biley back in May. He joined Kendrick Castillo in disarming the STEM shooter in Colorado, saving the lives of his classmates. Heartbreakingly, if you remember, Castillo lost his life in the struggle to honor his friend and continue to protect others. Brendan has just become a United States Marine.
That's awesome.
We at DBL want to thank Brendan for his service and bravery. And even more exciting, November, DBL co-host Jeff Schroeder will sit down with Kendrick's dad, John. John will share intimate details about how his son's life and how Kendrick's death has given him a new mission in life. You don't want to miss it.
And we did the Heart Threads earlier. We talked about motivation. I bet you there are times where Brendan's going through basic training, muscles fatigued, and what's he thinking about to push him through? His good friend Kendrick.
Yeah.
So great
Doing
job,
it for
Brendan.
both of them.
Great job.
We really value your service, and we want to thank you, and we can't wait to speak to you.
I honestly
John
can't wait to see
Castillo.
that.
Yeah.
I can't wait. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Be good to each other, because we're all facing uphill battles. Bye, guys.